All right. We are officially recording. And we have that as well, but all right.
All right, we'll call the hearing to order. This is December 18th, 2025, a meeting of the Historic Resources Commission. The next hearing will be Thursday, January 15th, 2026 at 4 p.m. In room 204. The next business meeting will be Thursday, December 31st, 2025 at noon in room 205. We'll have the commissioners introduce themselves, starting with my left.
Hi, Megha Sinha.
Matt Leisure.
Cynthia Hunt.
Hi, my name is Bharat Bastik.
Mike Fort.
And we'll have the staff
Of course.
introduced. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. My name is Morgan Graff, Historic Preservation Office, or we're with the Historic Preservation Office. Thank you.
All right.
All right. And we do not have any public forum for this meeting, so we can jump right into staff approvals. Commissioner?
Yes. So do we have any questions about staff approvals?
No?
Yes.
So moved. Second.
The motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed.
Okay. Do the commissioners want me to read through the app or the addresses just to double check on any recusals of those staff approved items?
We have.
Just in case, you never know. Just double checking on that. All right. And then we'll do the approval of minutes, Commissioner Leisure.
Yes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the last hearing? Any questions on those?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion approved. All right, so we'll move on to first case. So first up is case COA 250-1329, 111 Liberty Street. Would the applicant like to come up to the table? Oh, did I?
The staff, is that the first one?
We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Sarah, swear in, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay.
All right. So this application is for exterior alterations, awning and signage, install a canvas entrance awning over the main entrance, awning framing to be powder coated 1-inch aluminum square welded frame, fabric to be sunbrella, black woven acrylic, and awning to include company name City Park Interiors on valance in white ink. Applicant originally reached out in November with a sign awning proposal that included the City Park's interior company name on the slope of the awning. We informed applicant that we do not typically support the graphic sign portion to be on the slope. Signage is only permissible on the valance of the awning, which is seen in their current design alteration. In December business meeting, Commissioner provided the following feedback. Commission asked if the applicant had intent of removing the sign decal from the door, since they would discourage the multiple signs that are present or presented in the materials. The commission is fine and would be in support of the proposed size, style, and color for the awning. Staff recommends approval of application 250-1329, 111 Liberty Street, with the following conditions: to remove the door decal signage that is currently on the main entrance or the wall sign, if wanting to pursue the signage on the awning. Basis of staff rec is Columbus Register of Historic Properties, Architectural Guidelines, awning, page 60, as well as Short North Design Guidelines, signage, page 3.37, 3.41, awning side guidelines.
All right. Would the applicant like to add anything?
No.
Just one admin item. Could you state your name and your association with the property for the record?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Thank you.
Graham, and I work at Capital City Awning.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ford.
So I guess last time I think we are in favor, except for exactly what you said, is that the discussion of in this image, as you can see, there are too many signs. And I think that's something if this is still the application, my reservation stays the same unless, again, the applicant has submitted something different saying they are willing to eliminate one of the signages.
I thought the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so so what is, Are you in agreement of removing one of the signages?
I would check with our client, but I think that one of the signs does need to be removed.
Okay,
I think it's too much.
Do you have a proposal for which sign you think should be removed?
I personally don't think that it needed any graphics at all on the awning.
Okay.
But it's an arguable point that your client might care about.
Right.
so I would suggest that we say that if one of these signs comes off, then I mean, maybe it becomes staff approval if the commissioner agrees, and then you can just work with staff directly as long as one of them comes out.
I agree.
Mhm.
Is that good with you?
Yeah, we would agree with that as well. And again, of course, if you do discuss it with the owner as well, if they do not want to remove any of the signage, then the application can come back as well. So if they're not in agreement of that, of course. Mhm.
Okay.
I can make a motion? Any motion?
Sure.
Make a motion for COA 2501329 for the applicant to work with staff, city staff to approve the package minus one of the signs. There are 3 current signages. As long as one of the sign goes off, this can become a staff approval. And if that doesn't happen, then we keep it on case for coming back in front of us.
Second,
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Only thing, does the commission have a preference on which, because I think we're saying any of the 3?
I mean,
Is that where we're kind of landing at? Any of the 3 signs?
yeah, well, I guess we can definitely have a preference. I don't know if it like
Yeah,
by regulation, it's too much, so one of them has to go, but
that's right.
Mhm.
I
Understood.
think each of us have, so yeah, if we want to share a personal preference, we can. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
You have one?
Oh, well, I'm just thinking like
I do.
from the standpoint of what the signs are addressing at different scales. I think the awning sign addresses a different scale than the 2 signs that are lower. So I think one of the 2 lower signs and the awning sign make the most sense of, if you're going to keep 2 and get rid of 1, probably one of the lower signs, in my opinion. Because those 2 lower ones seem like they're kind of iterative or redundant.
and I would argue fighting.
I'm sorry, say that.
Fighting for the same.
Fighting,
For
exactly.
the same person
Right.
walking up to the door.
Right.
Yes, that could be fine, of course, for the commission to do that. That, that was our recommendation, is to either remove the decal or the walls.
Do we need to amend the motion?
Yeah.
Mhm, we can amend the motion.
Is that, okay, so we'll amend the motion to say that approve this package minus one of the 2 lower signs.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, with final review and approval by staff.
Yeah.
The motion,
Second,
second. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion approved. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, and we'll send that information after the meeting, of course.
All right, next up, we have case COA 2501325, 110 East Oakland Avenue. Would the applicant like to come up and swear in? And would you state your name and affiliation with the property, please?
Yeah, Roger Farrell, Main Street Construction. I'm the contractor.
And do you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right.
Thank you. So this is for exterior alterations, window replacement. Replace existing final windows in the front south elevation dormer. Install new Marvin Ultimate round top double hung aluminum clad windows and 2 aluminum clad casement windows. Window finish color to be white to match existing window coloring. HPO staff initially recommended to applicant to consider applying a faux meeting rail to the proposed casement windows to create a 1/1 appearance, but allowing the windows to still operate as a casement for egress purposes. Past Columbus Historic Commissions have approved the Marvin Ultimate casement window from the approved windows list with the simulated divided light. Applicant HPO staff have provided examples of similar dormers along the street for comparison of what is currently there and what is being proposed. Let me get to those materials real quick. And at the December business meeting, commissioners would agree with staff on their initial feedback submitted to the applicant to add an applied SDL meeting rail detail on the casements for them to represent a double hung window, which would improve look but maintain egress. They would encourage applicant to consider adding thicker mullion detailing between the arch window and casements, but it would be all right as it is for what is proposed, since it represents the window size and context of that dormer window opening. Staff recommends approval of application COA 25-01325, 110 East Oakland Avenue, with the following conditions: to increase the width measurement of the two mullions between the double hung and casement windows, as seen similar on other dormers along the street. Basis for staff rec would be standards for alterations, 6, 9, 12, and Columbus Register of Historic Properties Architectural Guidelines, 2005 amendments, window replacements.
All right, would the applicant like to make any comments?
Sounds fine to me.
Thank you.
Okay. Open up to discussion.
Just to be clear,
Mhm.
the applicant is going to add the horizontal piece.
That's our
It
recommendation.
hasn't,
The applicant hasn't verified that at this time, but that can be discussed at this
Okay.
time.
so that would be the question.
Yeah, we're glad to add the, like 1.5 inch SDL bars on the two casement
Great.
windows.
Right, so I guess we would just need that shown in the package.
Okay,
So I think if you're all in agreement that that can also be staff approval, as long as you just add it to the package, so it's documented right, and just work with the staff directly.
okay. So you're saying you're going to approve subject to me providing the updated drawing?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
With that condition. And that is just for the simulated divided light portion. Is the commission fine with the mullion sizing of the current window drawn here?
I think from recollection in the business meeting, it seemed like there was consensus that we were okay with either option, either the way it was drawn, or if the applicant did want to thicken up. I think some of the examples that were shown did show the windows more as standalone with thicker trim between them.
Mhm.
So they sort of read as more punch rather than like one unit, like single windows all divided with trim. And so I think that's an option for you to pursue if you're so inclined. But my sense was that the commission was also okay with the way it was drawn here.
Yeah, we're fine with that. Subsequent to this application, we've had a structural engineer look at it.
Yeah.
And they are directing us to add support
That's
for the lintels right now.
Great.
There's nothing that the masonry wall's bearing on the vinyl window.
Oh, gosh.
It's starting to fail now, so I'll be back next month with some proposed masonry work to add that structural steel. So we're gonna need to hide that in between the archtop window and the casements anyway. So having a thicker mull there is fine. Here. Correct.
Yep.
So you're going to go ahead with the window first anyway, and then come back?
The masonry opening size should not change.
Okay.
So I'd like to go ahead if that's okay. Yeah, the masonry opening size shouldn't be affected. It's just, we're gonna have to shore up that dormer wall. So there's gonna be some effect to the masonry itself. And there's gonna be some repointing. So that, I'll need to get that approved.
What action are you looking for the committee to give you tonight? Because I think we're talking about a different proposal. In my
Yes.
mind, I understand your proposal, but it's not what we have here, and it sounds like significant change. So what would be helpful to you?
Just if you want to approve as proposed or with thicker mullions between, that's fine, in either or.
And if the commission isn't comfortable with maybe the updated drawing coming to staff with that thicker mullion and the simulated divided light, we can always do a subcommittee as well for that final approval on that drawing, if those are the conditions.
If he's coming right back next week, next period, we're talking about a two-week difference.
That is true.
So it might not be necessary.
Mhm.
Morgan, how do you feel about reviewing it on staff approval with these proposed changes? If the rest of the commission want to see it come back?
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, we would be fine if it's going to be following a standard, thickness or sizing, historical thickness would, mullion. We would be fine reviewing that, of course. And I guess before we do move forward on this, if we are doing the simulated divided light for this window, since the portions are slightly different for the arch window and the casement, would the commission want the simulated divided light to match with the meeting rail of that center arch window or be the center portion of those casements is another question.
Is there an image, existing image?
We have those examples of other dormers down the street, I believe. This one is a four-light casement that we could tell from this property at 55 East Oakland. This one at 26 looks like it has,
A little offset, it's not.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like the center's a little offset, it's offset from, yeah, those double hungs with the center. So just to verify that for design.
I think the challenge there might be to meet egress if we lower the center window. I guess the option would be then to line them up to sort of line them up on the top, which would be offset the wrong way. So I think maybe it doesn't, personally for me, I don't think that's a requirement.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it have a strong preference as far
Okay.
as that.
Just want to double check on that one.
Okay.
All right.
So do we have a motion?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, my thing just shut off. Let's see. Oh.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion on COA 2501-325-110 East Oakland to approve pending staff approval with the updated drawings that show the increased width between the windows that account for the added structure that's going to be required, as well as the simulated mullion down the center of the windows as well.
Second?
Is that everything?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. We have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Approved, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. And before we actually begin reading this one, Commissioner Leisure, we did inform the applicant at the business meeting that they did not need to attend. We just didn't have quorum at the time to move this to staff approval. So
Okay,
you can go forward reading a staff report, but they are not here in attendance for tonight.
okay.
Or they might be, I'm not sure, but we did tell them not to come if they didn't need to.
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so next up is COA 2501013, 615 South Champion Avenue, and Morgan, take it away.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is to install solar panels, install on the east and primary, or actually not on the east primary, just the south and west rear elevation per the submitted materials. We have a note here from the National Park Service on just kind of a general preference on solar panels. But applicant has submitted revised materials that are consistent with the commissioner's requested revisions from the past November hearing to remove the front-facing solar panels and to push back the solar panels on the south-facing roof slope. At the business meeting, commissioners were in support of the revisions submitted since they're in line with last month's comments. And since the commission did not have quorum, as stated before, we let the applicant know that they did not need to attend unless they wanted to attend the meeting. Based off of that, we do recommend approval of application COA 25-01013, 615 South Champion Avenue, as submitted. Basis for staff rec is 311611. Standards for alteration, 1, 9, and 12. And then Columbus Register of Historic Properties, Architectural Guidelines, Skylights, page 49. And I
Okay.
eventually made it to the materials.
Yeah, so I think we had quite a bit of discussion about this one already, so does anyone have a motion?
I make motion to approve COA 25-01013 as presented.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. And I need to recuse myself from the next case, so I'll be going outside. So
Okay.
Cynthia, I'll leave this one to you.
All right.
We won't have a quorum.
We do have a quorum. So technically,
Sounds-
yes. So we do still have quorum for the evening, though Commissioner Leisure does have to recuse himself from this.
Okay, is there anyone here for 851 Bryden? While you're standing, can you please introduce yourself and your role in the project?
Yes, Josh Lapp, property owner.
Thank you.
Camden Primer, Pell of Columbus.
And while you're standing, can you raise your right hand and say, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony tonight?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. And for the commissioners, I'm just going to read through the staff report and then go through the materials after. It's quite a lengthy material packet, so just letting you. All right, so for this application, this is to remove storm windows and replace 19 existing 1/1 windows with Pella Reserve aluminum clad wood windows from the approved windows list. Paint wood exterior elements to be iron ore to match color of new addition. Staff analysis, the property includes a circa 1880s brick Queen Anne style residence. Staff conducted a site visit on November 19th, 2025. The following is taken from the November 2025 Historic Resources Commission meeting minutes. Would the commissioners like me to reread those minutes at this time?
No.
Okay, we're good. All right. So at the December business meeting, the commission provided the following feedback. Commissioners asked what the blue indicated in the window key provided. Applicant present stated that the blue are windows that had been replaced in the past. Commissioners asked applicant to add additional documents to organize each window, describing the condition, photo of existing, and include the proposed from the window schedule for the commission to review, all to be done by elevation. Commission asked HPO staff to include their evaluation of the windows that they had reviewed on the site. Per commission request, HPO staff has gone through the packet provided by the applicant that includes our notes of the condition of the windows that are proposed for replacement, and the applicant has submitted an updated material packet to include the identification of those windows. We recommend approval of application 25010. That is not the right number. 1194, apologies, for 851 Bryden Road. Windows will be repaired if found to be in good repairable condition. And of course, the ones that were designated or that we thought were replacement windows at the prior meeting, we would be fine with replacements. Basis of staff rec is 311611. Standards for alteration, 256. Columbus Register of Historic Properties, Architectural Guidelines, Windows, page 52, 55. And amendments to City of Columbus Architectural Review Commission Guidelines, window replacement, page 4 through 5. Thank you.
I have a question for you first. Based on the staff report, I wasn't at the business meeting. Often windows in repairable condition is designation is an art form.
Yes.
And there's often not agreement across individuals. So you have looked, the staff has looked at every window and understands the package and is in agreement with the recommendation by the client.
Yeah, yes, so we did go onto site and we did look at the windows and evaluate them, and we wrote down our evaluation of what we
And we're
saw.
congruent with their recommendation.
No, we believe that there are repairable windows on the property at this time. There are, I believe, 1 or 2 that are in poor condition, we still
Mhm.
believe can be repaired. And there was one, and I can get to that one, number 4, that it appeared that it had been replaced in the past just because the difference of the molding detail from the interior.
So have we specified for the applicant which windows we think are repairable?
We would say that we would think all would be repairable at this time.
So there could be a difference of opinion in terms of what's repairable and what's not.
Yes, and there can be. Just from the office ourselves, we believe that they all can be repaired.
Okay.
So, and that's for discussion today with the commission. Of
Okay,
course.
do we want to look at the materials or would you guys like to say something first?
No, we can look at the materials. Yeah, happy to chime in.
Do you have extra materials for us? I thought I heard that earlier.
Yes, so this is quite a lengthy packet. It's about 150 pages. So I figured we just kind of go page by page.
Yeah.
Do you want to have them walk us through the materials?
Yeah, they can do that as well. It's divided by elevation, so we do have that. So I can.
Yeah, so in the sort of overview, tried to make it relatively simple. So what we are proposing replacement is red.
Mhm.
What we are proposing to repair or maintain as is green. And all of the red and green are historic windows. There are 2 that are shown as blue that are not historic. They are replacement windows. And honestly, the windows themselves are fine, but they're like, is a ton of blocking below both of them that is like this big. So anyway, I don't really see any concern with those, I'm guessing, replacing those. Our goal with replacing those would be to restore the full size opening. And yeah, so
We started like, just
Go
like
ahead.
from number 1.
Yeah,
Whatever.
so the applicant has done elevation by elevation.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. So we can start there on the north elevation.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the applicant. It's very, come a long way in the clarity of
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
review. So thank you for all the effort.
sure. Yeah, so on this elevation, I think we already talked about 4. It seemed like there was like even staff agreed with replacing that window. It's old, but I think even the closer you look at it, there have been a lot of replacement components to it at some point. So that one makes sense. It sounds like just in general. So, I mean, maybe I don't know if we want to talk about every specific window because there's like 20 of them.
Well,
But
if I can, what
yes,
would be helpful, at least to me, and I don't know about other commissioners, where it's a repair, we don't need to worry about it.
Agree.
of course.
Where it's a window that's not historic, that's
Of
also
course.
okay for me. I think if we can focus on those that are historic and the staff has said can be repaired, but you are electing to not repair it, I think we just want to understand that better.
Sure. And I think that's all the ones that we actually show in the packet. The other ones we don't really discuss. So all the ones we're looking at are ones that we're proposing for replacement.
And those are red and the ones you're keeping are green.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you go to 4 and 5, or yeah, 5 and 6. I mean, I think one of the key conditions that I realized after really looking at them closely after the last meeting is that due to the way that the sills are installed and the exterior of the window, the storm windows don't seal. So there's the bottom rail of the storm window is not touching anything, just open to the elements, which probably contributed to some of them being in very bad condition. I would say in general, if you want to go to the next elevation or the next set of windows.
Do you mean the west elevation, Josh? The ones, the
Yes.
street facing?
Yeah,
side, yeah.
exactly. The street facing, unfortunately, the street facing elevation contains the worst series of windows
Mhm.
because they're facing the elements. The storm windows, as I said, don't really seal. So and some of them were broken when we bought the house or missing. So this is a great example. We had a whole discussion about the arches at the last meeting because the very first window that you showed, it isn't an arched opening. I realized there's a bunch of arched openings. This is a good example of that. I think we could argue one way or the other whether those are replacement. I don't know that that's.
So architecturally, there is both. There are arch masonry openings that do have the arch windows, but there also are the arch openings that do have the rectangular window with kind of the arch wood
silver.
infill. So there are both styles that are seen on historic buildings. So,
I
those
just
are
bring it
present.
up because it was brought up.
Yes,
after
no,
the
of
last
course,
meeting,
of course. But that is true. That is the possibility of either or for the
Yeah.
design.
I would say on this, since we're looking at this elevation, in particular, basically all the windows on this elevation, but in particular 43, 37, 38, 40, 46, they're in really bad condition. I think they are in the worst condition of any window on the building. I think there's many of them have extra little components that have been added. Some of them are the sashes are falling. They've been modified with little additional pieces of wood to allow them to latch. Mostly they're just none of them are really sealed at all. So I would just say in general, this series of windows that are in red on this elevation are the ones that are in the worst condition. The ones that are probably in better condition in general are on the opposite elevation between the houses.
Which you would expect given the
Right.
direction they face, right?
I think from a architectural review standpoint, you'd rather keep the windows that are on the street facing elevations, but these are the ones that are in the worst condition. One of my overall arguments is, and I think it was on one of the very first pages, I did a calculation. There's 47 windows. We're proposing to keep 53% of those. I can't remember the exact number without looking at it.
I'll pull that up for you.
Yeah, and the ones that we're proposing to keep are all the irregular ones. I mean, that's both economic and architectural because we wouldn't want to replace the leaded glass windows and the big bay window in the front. I understand that from my perspective, I think the materiality is important. The wood, having the wood windows is important and the historic piece, but as the property owner and the person that lives there, I want functionality. And I also want them to be aesthetically pleasing. And I think the situation I see is, the storm windows were, I think, probably installed in the 60s based on looking at like historic images. They look really bad. I don't know how, based on the like way that the windows are installed with the sill, I don't know how I would install new storm windows, without modifying the sills to actually seal. And at that point, after we're talking about all these like significant repairs, which would include like doing a lot of epoxy, because I mentioned on these pages, like there's chunks missing, there's, after we get through all of this, and then I have to cover them up with storm windows again, I question like, what is the goal here then? For me, aesthetically, being able to install new wood windows that won't even have screens, because these Pella windows have screens like integrated into the base of them. Visually, we're going to have, I think, a better, yeah, like architecturally, we're going to be seeing a better visual, and we're still going to have wood windows, even though they are newer wood windows. And then, as part of that, we're talking about getting rid of some of the bad infill on those two, like inappropriately installed windows. So to me, overall, I think like architecturally, we're going to have a better look and feel. Yeah, I could go on, but I don't know that there's much more to say. We're looking at some of the very bad ones, at least the existing condition of them. One of the other key things that I want to make sure that gets brought up too, because it's in the notes, is we have the exterior storms. We also have interior storms. Now I've taken almost all of those off, but there is metal and plexiglass if you put them up, you stop the breeze that's currently coming through the windows. I mean, you can see because they like come in a little bit. From a visual standpoint, from an architectural standpoint, they're horrible. Like you can't even see out the window. So there's 3 layers here. We have the exterior storm, the actual window, and then the interior storm. Again, to me, like that's the existing condition. I don't really want it. I think it would be better off for the architecture of the district to get rid of those interior storms and the exterior storms and have just a single window that looks better. But that's my that's my case.
Thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, he hit on pretty much all of it. I just kind of just to reiterate the goal here is to keep everything as historical as possible in terms of look. And having, even if we did repair all of them and then we put those storm windows on top, it kind of takes away from the original beauty of what the wood windows were, just because it kind of covers them up. So in our mind, it's best to put a historic looking window in there that's also functional and makes a little more sense for everything.
Of course.
So
Thank
just to clarify, the ones that you are choosing to replace, they're gonna look identical because you're saving some and also you
Yes.
want it to look
Yeah.
identical and the color will match to the frame.
Yeah, these are, well, okay, so these are 1/1s. So, I mean, they are going to look identical, and the I would call them architectural windows, the divided lights, all those other ones we're proposing to keep. So I think these are the most simple ones, which is part of my argument and changing them because we're not like really changing something. So in terms of the color, we're proposing iron ore, which is a different color, but we also, and I didn't include this in this application, we want to come back with a proposal to repaint all the exterior wood, like of the entire house, including because it's really, they did this in the 90s. It's not even really a historically appropriate color scheme, and it really leaves a lot to be desired. So we would be using the iron ore color. That would be sort of the basis for our new color scheme, which would include, I think we're going to go with greens. So, a series of greens.
This is got complicated.
Yeah.
Because, so the window discussion still should be
Sure.
had. And if, let's say we agree that yes, these replacements all make sense. The color, I don't know how we would agree to the color because my easy thing is, oh, you're gonna match it to what's existing.
Yeah.
But now if you're gonna change it and in the future, you're gonna change the others to, I think the color part might have to come back to us or
That's totally totally okay. Yeah.
So I think, right, because, so you can't replace the windows till we actually approve the color.
Right.
Yeah. But we can go through that discussion.
Yes. Yeah, that can be the discussion to be had. And again, it could be, the window itself can be approved with the color to be selected at a later date.
Yes, that's what
I
I
would
To
thought.
be
like to
approved by staff.
I'd like to see the color in context of the entire color scheme.
Okay.
So to your point, the windows that you're proposing using as replacements will have the same size mullions, the same size sills, the same size total surrounds.
Hmm.
They will be custom fit to the opening.
Yep.
They're not standard size windows, right?
No,
Yeah.
they're all custom size.
And for our requirements, it has to be at least
Mhm.
1 inch, 1 inch for the rough opening. for
But they're on the
main.
approved window list. Again, I wasn't in the business meeting.
Yes, they
so
are.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are on
Yeah.
the approved windows list, yes.
So I think some of us were struggling with, in general, we try to replace.
That's why I'm wondering.
I do think, and the applicant's done a really great job in continuing to give us more and more information. There's a few things that stand out for me personally. They are maintaining like the most unique windows. And those are what I would argue maybe the most historic or architecturally significant windows. There does seem to be a significant amount of deterioration on a number of the windows. There have been a number of modifications over the years with interior and exterior storms, which have changed the look of the building. So part of me feels like, I know we want to be careful about not setting a precedent,
Especially in a
but-
historic district.
especially in a historic district, but this particular case, I feel now, especially today after the extra information, feel a little bit more compelled for replacement of the select windows because of those specific items that I just mentioned. And in my mind, there is a bar to clear to make that case. And I feel like they've proved that case to me, both in terms of deterioration, maintaining the historic windows, and then also the changes that have been made over the years. And in some ways, we're cleaning up the look in general on the building.
I would feel better if the city staff had come to an agreement window by window with this applicant to make sure we could come to the right conclusions.
Yeah.
personally. I'm
Um,
very worried about precedent.
so again, the commission has the review. If they do feel that the windows are too far gone or over 50% gone, then of course, that's why we have the approved windows list for that.
Right.
I will say as staff, I personally have worked on restoring windows. That was the work I did prior. So going in and evaluating, it does appear that a majority can be worked on, restored. Again, adding the epoxy, the wood, a bottom rail or meeting rail needs to be replaced and things like that. So there is work that needs to be done to repair the windows.
Right.
It wouldn't just be a painting and reglazing. There is.
Totally
so,
understand
yeah.
what it takes to repair. a
Oh,
historic
yeah.
window.
So I'm just saying
Yeah.
for the overall, that's what we have seen as well for
Right.
our assessment of the windows.
I'm just worried, I haven't been on this commission long enough to know
Yeah.
how the precedent has been set for historic windows. How does this relate to other, and you might not know either since you're just coming to this commission.
At least from the ones that we've sat through, sorry. If it
You're fine, Commissioner.
if the conclusion is that it is not, it's beyond repair,
Yeah.
then we do it. I think here the conflict is because staff has gone and has said it can be repaired.
Exactly.
I think that's the hiccup.
It is the hiccup. And again, it is our recommendation. This is why we're at the commission right now. Of course, so the commission does have final say. If the commission does feel comfortable that these are past the point of being repaired, then, then it is perfectly fine to, of course, approve the replacements since they are from the approved windows list.
You've
Because
already
those are our
told us-
guidelines and standards.
You've
that-
already told us you think they can be repaired. That's the problem.
Yes, and understandable. But there are some times that we have in these meetings that there are recommendations that the staff has that the commission may not agree from the office as well.
Get it?
Yeah, but per code and guidelines, that is still following code and guidelines, what the commission will be acting upon. So I don't, in a way, I don't believe that would be setting any precedents at this time, since you are currently following codes and guidelines on the review of these.
May I ask one more question? In the business meeting, were there other commissioners present who are usually vocal?
Mhm.
And were they leaning toward replace?
So I wouldn't want to speak for them, and this is just going on my recollection. but I do believe that they were leaning towards approving
Um,
replacements.
Is that your recollection as well?
I can read some of the minute comments that were made, Commissioner Hunt, if you'd like, just from or from the commissioners with the past November
I think let's do that.
agenda.
I think.
I can read it if you want me to do that.
But yeah,
Okay, do you guys want to hear it?
if you would like, I was like, we can pinpoint some of the
Yeah,
comments.
if you,
Okay, go ahead.
let's go ahead and pinpoint some.
Okay. Commissioners request of applicant connote, good or Windows 4 conditions. Commissioners noted the useful life of windows that need to be rebuilt sometimes need to come back for full replacement years later. So they were understanding of that. Feel for the applicant to have functioning windows, but it's a difficult situation because they're historic. Sorry, I thought that had a little bit more information. Let me go through. I apologize. I thought I had them pinpointed to myself, but I do not.
I think actually, if you go back to our last, it wasn't even the business meeting,
Mhm.
but I do remember Commissioner Henry and McCabe both leaning towards replacements being prudent in this particular situation.
Okay,
Mhm.
If I may,
yes.
also, I sat on a commission, so I might have some justification thought process. If I was thinking about it in that approach, like, how we could justify this, I think one of the things that I noted that is in the guidelines is the storm window situation. And it's, I think it specifically says, it might be on the very last page of this very long document. Something to the effect of, if storm windows can't be
The installation of a storm window over contributing primary window will not address the issue. Is that the one?
not address the
Mhm.
issue. And that was one of the things that I
That's
pointed
another
out
amendment.
as looking at these, is the installation of storm windows is not addressing the issue of actually sealing the window,
Mhm.
because there's nothing to seal
Right.
it to.
Yeah.
So
Right,
And that is also part of, again, code and guidelines to consider in the evaluation of either approving.
which is
or
this point,
approving.
right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the package. I'm new to the commission. This is I've been catching up, but I think personally, what's been presented makes sense to me, and I think it's a good compromise. There is some effort to sort of keep the most complex windows, which is appreciated, and I think in general, I'm on board with the consistency of logic here. So, thank you.
thank you.
So I think similarly, I think because if we had just said, okay, if the applicant had said, I'm replacing all, and we would have said, okay, replace all, then that's a different thing. But we worked with the applicant, we've tried to preserve the ones, they've come, we've gone back and forth.
I feel like I
So I
understand the
feel like that
situation.
compromise, I agree, it makes sense. As the architects of the room have said, keeping the significant ones
Mhm.
out there just makes sense to me. So I think that we're doing good there too. Like I try to work the logic of precedence setting, and at least from the pictures, even though understood what the staff is saying, they do look a little bit far gone. And if we do keep it now and repair it, it might seem, again, not a structural engineer or architect, that they might come back in the future in disrepair anyway. And now that, which is not part of the package, but if I'm hearing there's a bigger thing in play here with painting and a whole spruce up of the facades, I think this makes even more sense to me, that it's part of a bigger thought process of making the entire structure.
Thank you. Is there more discussion? Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd be happy to make the motion.
I think listing the points that would cause us to come to a conclusion that needs to be dealt with in terms of precedent.
Sure, understand. I'll do my best, and then we can try to capture whatever I miss in the discussion.
And before you do begin, Commissioner Fort, we can also ask for reasonings of approval, just to
I
have
can ask for what?
reasonings of approval if you want to specify certain, code or parts of the guidelines.
Okay,
Just
probably not, but we
Well,
will
just to-
probably
just to-
take what she said and what he's going to add. and
That's
that will
fine.
be- Those will be the points.
Let's see, make sure this is 851 Bryden, yes. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve COA 2501194 851 Bryden Road as submitted, with the exception that we understand that the painting and overall color scheme has to come back before the commission for review at a future date. So we, at this time, are approving the proposal in terms of windows that are to remain and the windows that are to be replaced. After a lot of discussion, is this where you'd like me to kind of give my points? Okay, after a lot of discussion, there is significant damage that seems to be observed in the images that have been presented in the package for a number of windows. There's also been a lot of modifications over the years to the windows in terms of exterior storms and interior storms. And the replacement of some of these windows, which are most damaged and have these storms, will allow for us to return more to a historic look that originally accompanied this building. It's also important that we are maintaining a number of the architecturally significant windows. So those that have leaded glass or bay windows, et cetera, the ones that aren't our standard windows. So for all those reasons, that's why we're putting this motion forward, or I'm putting this motion forward.
Let me ask for amendments
Sure.
before we move to second. Or do I need a second first? I don't know.
I think we need a second and then a discussion.
Your second?
Second.
Okay. Are there any, is there any comment? Did he capture all of your points?
I think so. And again, I think I heard it, but we are keeping the ones that we believe can be replaced, repaired. Architecture, which architecture is significant,
Right.
are being, the applicant has worked with us, we've gone back and forth, and so we've made all concerted efforts to protect what we can.
Yeah, I would actually say, and the due diligence displayed by the applicant in terms of their analysis.
Yeah.
And working with the commission has been excellent. So we are comfortable with the conclusions. Okay. All right.
Yeah, agreed with the discussion and the amendments.
All right. Second.
Yeah, second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll bring the holiday glam outfit back for the January meeting as well. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Bangles though.
Thank you, commissioners.
All right. Can you let Matt know he can come back in or somebody?
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Commissioner Leisure. He comes in. Thanks you guys for hanging with me on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, commissioners.
Sure. It is often a religion. Window.
All right.
Number 5.
Yes,
Item 5. Sorry to keep you out there so long.
that's all right. All right, next up, we have case COA 250-1186-517 Park Street. Would the applicant like to come forward? All right, and would you state your name and affiliation with the property?
Spencer Alt, I with the contractor project.
Nick Fiocca, representative of the owner.
Gotcha. And will you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, yes.
All right.
This is a continued application from November's agenda. This is to install aluminum pergola and 6 columns on the balcony, location at the east elevation facing Park Street. This is on the new AC Hotel portion of the property that was built in 2020. Staff initially reached out to request applicant submit additional information to clarify how the pergola will be connected and attached to the existing roof system and rooftop area. Staff asked that the applicant submit an elevation drawing showing the balcony and roof extension in context with building, as well as to include further information on how the columns will attach to the current railing system, since that was depicted in the rendering provided at the time. The following is taken from November 20th, 2025 meeting minutes. Would the commissioners like me to review any of those comments at this moment? Okay. At the December business meeting, the commissioners asked applicant to provide more information and detail on the connection between the columns and the rooftop structure to the existing. They asked applicant to provide an updated technical drawing of the attachment and still have concerns with how it will be attached to the building. For the overall design, the scale works with the corner of the building, and the commission thinks it is appropriate with scale and form. Applicant has since revised, so sorry. has since submitted revised materials to include the requested section drawing on methods of attachment for the columns and pergola roof to the existing structure. Staff recommends to approve application COA 25-0-1186 for 517 Park Street. As submitted, basis of staff rec would be standards for alteration 31-16-11, 9, 10, and 12. Short North Design Guidelines, rooftop structures and spaces, page 3.36. Rooftop canopies and awnings, pages 310 to 311. And that is all for that staff report.
All right, would the applicant like to make any comments?
No, I think pretty self-explanatory. So just trying to get some better full year-round usage and accessibility and functionality for patrons and hotel goers and bar goers, restaurant goers up on the rooftop. So
Gotcha. So we'll open up to discussion amongst the commission.
I think we were all there. We just needed to see the detail in the package. So as long as, again, the architects feel comfortable with that detail, it was pretty.
yeah,
straightforward.
she's getting to the elevation views. I know the main thing was them wanting to see the elevation view from the ground, what it would look like with the columns coming down and where they attach on the outside of the existing railing into the existing structural beam of the building, which was designated as the attachment point by the engineer and the building developer GC.
Can you point out, that was the kind of the sticking point for me. It was just everything was more conceptual, at least in the attachment details. Can you guide us to where you have the architectural detail of connection point, both for the post going down, and then also it looks like you're attaching to an existing pergola, so that attachment detail coming back.
It'd be attaching to, there's an existing overhang right there. We're using 6-inch 3/8 by 3/8.
What page are you talking about?
Sorry.
You guys are there.
22.
Okay. Up on the
Yeah.
Great.
What
I
page
guess
is
is your
that?
question in relation to how it's attaching to the building or
I think, and I've seen the same, in one of the pages, there's a thick yellow line.
mhm.
And we understand that's the element, but it's not a structural detail. So I think that's what we were looking for, is that thick yellow line. What is that? Right, so what is that detail of that, attaching the yellow line, attaching to the pieces, to the top and the bottom?
That is just I guess I'm confused on what
The yellow line is depicting the pergola, and there's gonna be a horizontal beam that has the attachment point to the existing overhang.
We're looking for the picture. That's the issue.
Yeah, the actual detail of the attachment. So we understand the concept and we understand what the yellow line represents. I'm just wondering, what does that actually look like? A lot of different ways that can be executed, and that's the level of detail that we're asking for.
So if we want to go back to that page that shows the overhang and everything.
What's the number of the page, please?
31 there. So below all that stuff right there, you kind of see that that rectangle shape there showing all the spacing. That's the lag layout. I guess that's what you're kind of looking for. That's a front view of what the beam would look like attached to that overhang. The spacing is going to depend on where structurally sound it is. That's our rough estimate on where trusses would be or any structural attachment points. We would get a more in-depth detail on measurements and everything when we're on site, just to ensure structural integrity.
So you're going to be running an aluminum beam along the existing pergola on the front. And then your
Yes.
canopy attaches to that aluminum beam.
Yes.
Okay, understood. Okay, and then how about on the post where that comes down?
Yes.
Can you describe that architectural detail as well? That
Yes.
attachment?
Yep. So listed in the photo there you see a kind of a bracket there, square bracket with 2 fins coming up. So that'll attach with some metal screw structural lags there. That's going to tie into the existing right in front of the railing there. You kind of see that rectangular shape. Those structural lags will attach into that metal attachment point, and then the post will sleeve over, and 1.5 inch screws will screw into the sides of the post into the bracket as well, so securing that post to the bracket.
Okay.
So-
This is just a little bit small, but this is this is all existing.
Yeah.
Yes, yep. Correct.
That's not that in the back. That's just like a dimension line.
Yes, yeah, that's just a sketch from the original.
So the only thing that you're doing is coming down right here, capturing right at that surface.
Yes,
With
yep,
this bracket.
correct, yep.
And that whole post would slide over that bracket.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't see anything but the hardware attaching on the outside.
All you would see is some screws on the outside, yes.
Looks like there's an existing steel box beam below the flashing.
Yes, it has a metal coping,
Coping solid, yeah.
flashing going over the existing, structural beam.
And then that's in general what I was looking for.
And there
So I
is a
appreciate
picture
you
of
walking me
that.
through that. And then have you guys worked through then the waterproofing? I know that's not really our purview, but just want to make sure that's been thought through so that if that affects how this looks, has that been thought through?
No, I mean, one of the main reasons why we are doing it at the attachment point that we are is because the GC and also ourselves, you know, the tying into, well, you know, one, it would be more in the space of the restaurant goers and bar goers if we go on the inside of the existing
Sure.
railing. So but mainly you know, we would either attach into the roof, which would then, that would actually be more, you know, I would say, you know, risky in terms of, you know, future potential leak scenarios. So this is the attachment point that it is currently, which was designated as the preferred attachment point by the developer and the GC of the building, was that structural beam that is shown there and has there's a actual picture of the, you know, the large metal shroud coping that is over that beam. So and there's you know, screws that remove that. All right, right.
Sounds pretty straightforward, yeah.
Do we have a motion?
So that, yeah, so in terms of answering your question, there's
Yeah.
no really waterproofing concerns. It's mainly just cosmetically, after we attach into that beam, if there's any coping work that needs to be done to
Get the beam, so.
seamlessly put it, you know, put it all back together. So,
And we do have, we use flashing and different kinds of sealants to ensure that any structural attachments are sealed and no water will be entering those spaces.
Either way,
We typically run our screws at a specific angle to, that way, God forbid, if anything were to get behind our flashing or our sealant, it would fall away from the structural integrity rather than towards it.
Okay. So that, all of that really wouldn't alter the aesthetic of.
No, all that will be hidden, but, and, you won't see any of that now.
Okay.
I think this is the correct place to attach this, but we're like given the options. Is any consideration for how to waterproof those holes when you do drill through? I understand that they're inside the box section, so it's not that they're getting direct rain, but is there any thought to how you would waterproof that hole where the screw goes through so as not cause deterioration down the line?
Yeah, so we would probably use some kind of, it'd be a mixture of like a 2-part epoxy slash, and they make versions of that are water resistant. What we would do is we would prep the spots where we'd be running the structural lags. Once the holes are prepped, we would apply this epoxy, and once the structural lags are put in, they kind of twist, you know, and everything kind of seals up properly. And that tends, we haven't had any issues with that in the past.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion?
I can go.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve COA 25-01186 as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? No? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, up next, case COA 2501301, 165 North High Street. Would the applicant like to come forward, please? Yes.
And we were on the new applications, just. to let the
Yes.
commission know.
Okay.
Just to let the commission know. These are all new for everyone.
Please. Now, state your name and affiliation with the property.
Chris Jolly with Darren Ranker Architects. I'm the architect for the project.
Yep. And raise your right hand to swear in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thanks.
All right. So proposed work description for 165 North High Street is to convert second and third floors from offices to apartments, remove existing fire escape on north elevation, install new egress stairs to meet building code requirements for apartment conversion, staircase to be painted Sherwin-Williams 9025 or 24 vintage gold, install new 8-foot steel security fence around bottom portion of stairwell, convert 2 existing windows on third floor and second floor on north elevation to new full light aluminum egress doors with transom, convert existing third floor door on north elevation to new 1/1 window, repair windows on front east and side north elevations. Staff analysis, the application is response to a code violation from September 2024 for the removal of sashes without a certificate of appropriateness on the structure. HPO staff conducted a site visit on September 9th, 2024 to view the current conditions of the windows and site. As noted by past staff, it is a mix of window styles on the property that includes the south elevation to have arched 1/1 windows, 9/9 windows, and 4 stained glass windows. North elevation is 4/4 windows, 4/4 windows and 9/9 windows, and the east elevation, just to get up the image while I'm discussing this, 1/1 windows with decorative transom, skinny arched windows, and stained glass with an entryway. Currently, the property appears to have glazing infill within the bottom sash area where they were previously removed. HPO staff would ask applicant to clarify if the previously removed sashes are still on the property and being repaired, or will there need to be new sashes manufactured for those openings. Also, are the proposed windows repairs to be performed to all windows on all elevations or just the provided second and third floor for the north and east elevations within the submitted drawings? Additionally, it appears that the drawings provided show the north elevation to have 1/1 windows, where there are currently a mix of 4/4 and 9/9. We recommend revising the drawings to represent the current conditions of that elevation. At the December business meeting, the commissioners asked if there was additional rooftop programming. Will the proposed window alteration to a new door be the same opening width? Typically, the commission has been supportive in the past. The commissioners will have a struggle with the 8-foot for the proposed fence unless the applicant can provide justification for needing the use of the 8-foot fence. Commissioners asked for additional photos of the side of the building where the work is proposed, and they asked applicant to provide more information on the window repair work that is called out on the plans, the extent and description of repair, as well as to how many windows will it be for how many windows it will be. The commission asked applicant to clarify the gold color selection for the railing, why that is being proposed. As a reminder, the property is within the Downtown Commission District as well as Historic Resources Review. The application will need to be approved by HRC prior to approval by the Downtown Commission. Staff recommends to continue application COA 25-01301, 164 North High Street, to allow applicant time to provide more detailed information on the proposed window repairs and the additional requested reasoning for the 8-foot fence. Basis for staff rec is 31-1611, standards for alteration, 2, 5, and 6, and Columbus Register of Historic Properties, architectural guidelines, windows, pages 52 through 55, as well as the 2005 amendments, window replacement, pages 4 through 5.
Right. Would the applicant like any comments before we start discussion?
I think that covers most of it. I mean, I think from my understanding from speaking with the owner of the property, there was some vandalism that took place, which is what caused the damage to the windows. So looking to restore those. I'm not aware of any existing sashes remaining on the property. I'm not sure what did or did not happen with those in the past, but since we've been brought on, it mostly it's the lower sash that's been damaged or glazing that's been removed and is temporarily replaced with some plexiglass that would be obviously removed to restore the window. The reason requesting for the 8-foot fence is just, I think, a security concern, being that there's a parking lot here, there's some rooftop units and access to the apartments above. So I think, you know, you could easily get on top of a car to climb over a 6-foot high fence. So that's why looking for a taller fence there just to provide additional level of security. And the coloration is previously approved for the railing, so just matching that and trying to kind of blend it all in with the current facade that's kind of that yellowy goldish color.
All right, so open up to discussion.
I mean, if you want to break it into pieces, I'll start with the fence.
Mhm.
I think the 8-foot fence still, I mean, I understand security concerns. We've had other cases with the same concern, and we have not allowed for an 8-foot fence in similar settings. In fact, there was a case with, which is a car dealership, and they had plenty cars that were getting broken into. So we didn't go to 8 feet in that case either. So just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, what kind of fence is this? I think that was one of.
Yeah, it's an ornamental, like an architectural fence.
I think you had a cut sheet, but yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
montage
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
It's a pre-finished fence. That's kind of a decorative picket design at the top.
Yeah, I think same feedback. An 8-foot fence is pretty tall and almost institutional looking, and I, just question that and the need for that, whether that's really going to provide that much more security. So I think that's a question that we have for sure. So
Understood.
the 6-foot, I think would be, I mean, that's within the guidelines. So I think that would be an easy one if you were to revise that.
Sure.
You want to talk about the fence anymore, move on to windows?
Yeah, any
Yeah.
other questions about fence?
No, but yeah, I think this is going to be a difficult one to say yes to. So.
Right. Agreed. The windows, can you just talk a little bit? I've reviewed this, business meeting, and I think maybe this came through one at a time, but I'm still not even really sure of which windows we're talking about. Is this the entirety of the building? Is it specific windows? And then what's the extent of proposed repair or replacement for the windows?
Yeah, so there's select certain windows that have been damaged. It's not looking at replacing all the windows or anything like that. It's just mostly the bottom sash of probably about, maybe a third or so of the windows on each floor, the second, third floor, that has been, either that sash has been removed or the glass has been broken out in there. So either replacing that sash or reglazing the window.
We have no way of knowing from your drawings, right? Which ones?
I mean, I kind of went through, I don't think it's in here, but I kind of highlighted on this here in some in blue, the windows that have been damaged.
Was that part of the package that has been
It
submitted?
didn't make it into here, no. Yeah.
So that, did you see the application we were talking about earlier with windows?
Yes.
So like, some documentation is always helpful, like pictures and then showing like on elevation, showing us which windows we're talking about
Sure.
and the level of damage that we're talking about replacement, and then clear proposals about specifically on which windows you want to do which interventions or repairs. It's fine as a starting point, but for me, there's not enough information to make any action on the proposal yet.
Yeah, especially facilities that have lots of windows, it can get very confusing for us. And then we want to make sure just for documentation, it's very, very clear what we have approved. So I think that's very helpful. So agree.
Do you need
I
any
can do
more
that.
guidance on like maybe what that should look like, or do you have an idea of how you
I mean, I
can come
think-
back with more detail?
Yeah, seeing the previous application, I think it was 2 or 3 prior.
Mhm.
If that's the type of information you're looking for, we can certainly do that.
And you can always call staff and ask
Mhm.
for.
Yeah, we can
advice.
provide some examples.
Door,
Mhm.
convert existing third floor door.
Yeah.
window?
So in the north elevation, there are actually 2 windows that will be converted into doors. Previously, we thought it was just 1, it'll be 2. And then the 1 window or 1 door that is currently on the north elevation will be converted back to a window. So that's what's happening on the north elevation. And again, what we did see after looking at the materials, what's represented here with the 1/1 is not the configuration that's present on that elevation
Yeah.
for those window styles. So just for food for thought for the commission.
Maybe you want to walk us through why that needs to happen based on the conversion to residential. I'm assuming that's the
Yeah,
reason
so
for
it
that.
it was previously office buildings, had a
Right.
fire escape
Mhm.
off the 2nd and 3rd floors. So we need to provide an actual compliant means of egress. And that would be like an actual like staircase basically, and actual doors at finished floor elevation. So utilizing the existing opening, we're not changing the width or the height of it. So that's why we kind of a standard size door with a transom above to infill that opening. And, we should be able to probably salvage that window if we need to replace where we're like taking out the other door,
Mhm.
kind of swap places. And that's shifting also just due to travel distance and, the configuration of the plan to make that work inside for an apartment.
Okay.
And then the door that's getting converted to window, explain that.
That's the previous fire escape door.
So you're no longer using that.
Correct.
Was it always a door?
I doubt it. I mean, from the original to the building, probably not, but.
Because that would also be good to have in the application to say if you believe why originally it was a window and you're going to take it back to its original state, because, right, if that's what I understand you're saying, that it was.
Yeah, it's just like a metal door, it doesn't look anything, historic at all to it. I don't believe that it was that way. There's been a few openings that look like they've been modified over the years. Some are a little smaller than others, but.
As a recommendation from staff, I think it would be helpful for the commission if you could provide some additional detailed photos of that area to show maybe some infill on the exterior or from the interior to see if there's any remnants of, a header for the window and things like that.
Yeah.
If that would be helpful for the commission for our recommendation
Yeah,
on the material.
because just looking at the facade, if we were to replace it as a window, I get the idea that logically you would want to have it the same size as the windows next to it, which means a bigger opening. And so I think just to make sure that we aren't damaging a historic facade if there was never an opening that was bigger, but so if you can help with that, so yeah.
Sure.
And if I could ask a question to the applicant, what is the reasoning for not maintaining the door now that is currently on that elevation and putting another door below that to, converting a window to a door, to the left, just out of curiosity? And why not maintaining what is there for use for the egress access?
Yeah, it's mostly, the configuration side of the plan to make a usable apartment space over there because we need a common corridor through the building. And so that, eats into the space of a usable apartment layout, really.
So that's a good question. So I guess if it were totally for life safety, that's one thing. But if it's matter of making it, you've picked a design style, an interior layout style to necessitate a need for a new door, and then that's a difference. I think we would like to see that in plan. There was no other configuration possible to lay out apartments. I think in general, conceptually, we're, I think, on the same page about converting offices to apartments. That's not the issue.
Right.
But if we can maintain existing doors and use them at the expense of maybe one apartment becomes a smaller size, or you'll need to rework something on the inside, that would be the preference, rather than it is more efficient for the owner to have a bigger apartment, more cost effective, hence we are doing it, that will not fly. So I think so we need that from you saying, we've looked at all of this and there was no other way to make it usable.
Yeah, we had a similar case in the Brewery District about a year ago, I think, on Front Street where there was an exhibit that showed that. So they did that study, and just as an example. So that was the skinny building on Front Street. I forget the address, but there's an example in the packet.
And there is precedent, for the commission to approve conversions of windows to doors based on life safety. So I don't think what any of us are saying is that we wouldn't approve that. It's just showing that you've exhausted your options to maintain the current conditions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had one question on the site plan, and this is just a clarifying question, if you can go to that.
Of course. Get to that.
So are you proposing anything on the existing roof or anything at the ground plane? And I'm also what is owned by your current owner? Is it,
The
is
building and the parking lot.
the parking lot is also,
They're
okay,
two separate parcels.
okay,
But the only change really is the stair, the egress path. So the stair down and the walkway across the roof, and then the stair down to the parking lot.
okay, so there's no changes at the ground plane on that, okay, got it. If you can just note that would just so we're, yep, that's easy one.
And I think the gold color thing was just, we were just wondering why the gold, but I think it seems like you're matching the facade. So, but again, there's just a question of why that color.
Yeah. And we,
Yeah, just to make it kind of blend in with what's there today.
and the applicant, we found this in additional material packets, just of additional picturing of the side north elevation, but the existing looks to be that color, so.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Okay.
We're not ready to vote, right? We need to keep-
Is there anything we can peel off? It sounds like the windows and doors, those conversions are still up in the air. The fence, you heard our feedback on that, but is there anything else that would help you? If like we broke this out into part A and a part B.
I mean, I think that those are really the
That's
three
the
elements. There are repairs to
Yeah.
the windows, the fire escape, and then the fence. Those are the.
Yeah.
elements.
We just continue on.
Yeah.
I think the color of the color makes sense, but I don't know, you're not gonna paint just that and.
Yeah.
Right.
So do
Um,
So,
So-
motion to continue?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for us?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback.
Anybody have anything else they want to say?
Yeah, we could split the fence out if you're okay with going to a 6 feet, but I don't think you're not probably ready for that, so.
No,
yeah,
yeah.
just go back and talk to your, okay.
Do you want to make a motion?
He's working on
Okay, you're
Is it
gonna.
165? Is that where?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yes,
I
I did write 164.
I'd like to make a motion to continue COA 25-01301, 165 North High Street, to give the applicant more time to update the package to give more detail on the windows, door conversions, show the interior strategy that you've studied all the options for understanding how to maintain the existing openings as they are. Reconsider the fence height. Anything else?
Second.
So motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Application is continued.
Yes, thank
Thank
you. Yep. All right, next up, we have application COA 2501270, 1340 Bryden Road. Would the applicant like to come forward? All right. Okay. Would you state your name and affiliation with the property, please?
Calvin Flinders, contractor.
Josh Wyman, the owner.
Okay. And would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right. So for 1340 Bryden Road, the proposed work description is to install an in-ground 11-foot by 26-foot pool in the rear yard, install 374 square feet of concrete hardscape surrounding pool, install 12-foot concrete patio to lead to existing concrete patio. Let me get to those drawings. Apologies, commissioners. For staff analysis at the December business meeting, the commissioners asked for the reasoning of the proposed concrete around the pool. Is it being proposed for the function of the pool? Typically, if there's new hardscaping being proposed, the commission recommends using more permeable materials with a permeable base for water runoff and would recommend considering permeable pavers since there already is an existing concrete patio. The commission asked if the existing walkway will be integrated into the proposed concrete pool surround or will it be moved and reconfigured. The commission asked if there will be changes to the plantings in the rear yard once built. Will plantings need to be removed? If so, is there a plan to add more? For the pool equipment concrete pad, the commission asked what it will hold and if it is necessary. They asked if there will be proposed screen or enclosure. HBO staff would be in support of installing a new pool in the proposed location, but agree with the commission for applicant to consider using a more permeable paver such as brick, stone, and other masonry materials over a permeable base, as we have seen for past hardscaping applications. Staff recommends not the following options actually, to continue application COA 250-1270, 1340 Bryden Road, to allow applicant time to provide the additional requested materials from the commission, as well as to look into more permeable paving materials to use around the pool instead of the proposed concrete. Basis for staff rec is Columbus Register of Historic Properties, Architectural Guidelines, Patios and Decks, page 77, as well as 311613, Standards for Site Improvements, letter D.
Would the applicant like to add anything further?
I will add, so fiberglass pool shells have to have a minimum of concrete to hold them in place. So even if we did do a paver patio around it, it would have to have a concrete subdeck, which would be non-permeable essentially.
And that's the three.
And that's for the structure of the shell. It holds it in place.
Okay.
You said that's for a particular pool kind, but if
For
you
a
were,
fiberglass
yeah,
pool
but if you were to use a different kind of pool, that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes.
So I guess the main thing with this site plan is just understanding all the things that you're going to change on the site to accommodate this. So that was really my big comment, was just, clarifying the existing walkway that's there. Does that become part of the pool deck, or is it moving, or is it just remaining in place? And then are you proposing any additional plantings or other things in the site once you heal this all back in? So really, that was probably the big thing, was just a more complete site plan. And then.
Just too much, it
yeah.
seems like it's too much impermeable surface on the site, especially because you already have the other amorphous gray concrete thing happening on site existing. So if you do need new concrete, then maybe the existing concrete changes its materiality. I mean, I think that's a discussion we were having. As a whole, so much concrete is not something we've generally gone for, just given the city's intent of having more permeable surfaces site. And of course, your pool itself is now not going to be permeable either. So that itself adds to that. But we're okay with the idea of having a pool. It's the rest of it.
Okay. What were the questions for the equipment pad? I think
Same thing, it's a concrete thing, right? So what is on it? We don't know.
so the pump, filter, heater, all the stuff to run the actual pool is located on the pad.
I think a question, is there a screen with that, or is it just the equipment out on site? I know you're within a fenced backyard area, so that's the other.
As far as screening from the road, it would be screened
With
via the privacy fence.
Okay, so there's not a
there's
screen
a
specific to that.
Plan on putting, like, more or less hide it from the view of the backyard.
Right.
It's like a landscape screen sort of thing.
Okay, so, and we just need to understand what that is as part of your plan. So whether that's, another fence that's similar in design to the current fence, or.
I mean, I wouldn't really call it, maybe it is a fence. It's like a landscape. It's like
Yeah.
bushes, so.
But we need to see it so that we can say, yep, we agree with you. It's just landscape. It's cool. Like, we'll just have to see it.
The commission's purview is the whole entirety of the property, so that is why site plan is needed for landscaping. If that includes screening of any sorts within the backyard, that is within the purview of the commissioners. So if they need those materials, those need to be included.
So what that might look like, to your point, like if you're proposing shrubs, you would show the shrubs on the plan and call out the name of the type of shrub, and then we could review it
So you
that
want
way.
more of a landscape plan with
Yeah.
plantings and all that?
Yes, yeah. Which you'll probably end up doing at some point anyway, so it's just, we just approve that as part of the project.
Is the property fence existing or is that proposed new?
Existing.
Yeah.
It's an
The fence is
existing fence.
existing,
Yeah.
yes.
Can you explain what the pathway, the existing pathway is built out of? Is that concrete? Is that pattern concrete or is that permeable pavers?
That's, yeah, pavers.
Pavers, okay.
Yeah. And it's staying, to answer your, I think your question.
You can probably see it in this picture.
Yeah, so
Looks different though. Right on the. Doesn't it look different? Like it looks more curvy.
well, so those are your utilities. That's
Oh, that's, oh, I see.
yeah,
Water.
Those are the sewer, those are the sewer.
I thought it was the walkway.
I don't
too.
think
Yeah.
the walkway- I don't think-
that's mostly what I'm getting at. Is like
Needs
we,
to be on it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So if you're wanting that to stay existing, then just draw it in and show that as existing.
Mhm.
Constructing pools, you're going to be bringing a lot of equipment in. So if you need to take that out and then rebuild it in place, then show like for like replacement or something on your plan. So we understand how that's all going to work.
Right.
Are you bringing in all of your equipment through the gate there in the back or?
Through the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a access road right there, so we'll take a fence panel out and then we can.
Okay.
access via-
Okay.
Morgan, would it be helpful if you have it available to just talk through what guidelines talk about in terms of permeability?
Yes, of course. So as stated in the staff report, we are basing the recommendation off of the architectural guidelines, and that's to use brick pavers, stone, or other masonry materials for patios. And it's edge the patio with metal edging, or at least at the edge row of the brick, and to create a soldier course of brick to hold the patio in place is what we have from the architectural guidelines. But as Commissioner Sino stated, we are support of more permeable surfaces within the city as well, and with all the other commissions as well, to have more permeable pavers within the backyards, just because of the lot coverage percentage that we would see with the hardscaping of just concrete. So our recommendation is to use those permeable pavers over a permeable surface to help with water mitigation and runoff and stuff as well in the backyard. You did mention that there has to be a certain concrete perimeter. Is what is represented on the site plan that amount of concrete that is needed for the fiberglass pool?
I mean, we could do a band just directly around the pool that would hold it in place and then we could do it just on nines or something. We could put the pavers around it.
Did
on
that
just
help,
gravel.
Commissioner Fort? Sorry for the.
That
The
did help.
guideline
I was just wanting the applicant to hear, make sure that you understood maybe some of the challenges that we're having with the quantity of impermeable surface with the project. Given the existing patio, given the walkway, given the new pool, it's a lot of hardscape and, I'd also be maybe compelled by a discussion about that existing concrete. I understand if you want to keep that as part of it, but there could also be a compromise in terms of our commission looking at that as, an addition and a subtraction and an overall gain, or, trying to balance out the quantity of permeability on the overall site. If this made a lot more sense for you in the construction of the pool, then, I think we're trying to look at the site holistically.
Okay. So removal of existing patio
Oh,
to balance off
and
the,
replacing
to
with-
balance off the percentage.
Replacing it with something permeable, you can have another patio, just not concrete,
Okay.
right? Pretty much.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's just clarifying all of that in a plan that we can really understand all the pieces. So.
We're continuing that, yeah. Making a motion to continue COA 2501270. Certain.
So motion and second, any additional commentary?
The only other thing I'd add too is as you put that plan together, it's helpful to call out like if something's existing to remain, and you've done that in some instances, but as you add more to the site plan, the overall site plan, be helpful to say existing or proposed new. So that way we can tell easily looking at it, like, for instance, that walkway that we talked about, showing that accurately, how that is actually on site and whether you're keeping it or whether it's moving or you're replacing it, whatever that is. Same thing with planting plan, et cetera.
Yeah, and this level of graphic or even less is fine as long as it's clear. So you don't need to spend a lot of time on the actual
Yeah.
graphic. We just need to understand what we're really approving. So that's the big thing. So, okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So motion continued.
Great. Thank you. And we'll send that feedback after the meeting.
Thank you.
All right. Application number 8 has been withdrawn from the agenda, so we're on to number 9. Commissioner Legion.
All right, application COA 2501289, 1085 Bryden Road. Would the applicants like to come forward? All right, would you state your name and affiliation with the property, please?
Sure, Michael Smith, owner.
Okay, and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right. Go ahead, Morgan.
All right. So for the proposed work description for this property is to replace 6 original full round and 2 pilaster columns on the front porch elevation. Columns to be replaced with new fluted and tapered fiberglass columns that will be painted to match existing color. Staff could not locate COAs for past maintenance to the columns in our files, just as some background for the property. And at the December 2025 business meeting, the commissioners recommended the applicant to look into maybe using a resin material for the column, but there has been fiberglass used within the neighborhood in the past. The commission asked applicant to provide the exact sizing and detail of the column that they are selecting from the catalog provided. Commissioners asked applicant to provide a condition assessment of the columns. Is it just rot at the bottom of the columns, the base, or is it all throughout the column? They asked the applicant provide more detailing on the 3/4 column and how that will be cut and attached, as well as information on how columns will be installed and attached to the existing roof of the porch and the concrete porch itself. The commission recommended maybe to keep the existing 1/2 and 3/4 pilaster and replace the full round columns. They also recommended the applicant maybe consider saving the upper portions of the columns and cut off the rotten bottom portions to maintain the current look. They asked if the color would match the columns, and additionally, since there are railings there, what is their plan for the railings and what will they be putting back? Applicant would need to supply a scaled measure drawing of the railing detail and how it will attach to the columns. After initial review of the existing columns, the majority of them do appear to be in decent condition from what staff can see from the photos. The majority of the deterioration is located at the bases. That appear to have been replaced in the past due to probably additional deterioration. Deterioration and replacement can be caused by the flat wood surface of the bases butting up against the current concrete porch where water may pool in those locations. Per the National Park Service Preservation Brief 45, preserving historic wood porches, column plinths and bases tend to deteriorate because of their exposed location on the outer edge of the porches. When plinths and bases are deteriorated beyond repair, they can be replaced without replacing the column shaft, which may still be in good condition or requires only minor repairs at the bottom. Entire columns may need to be replaced, but an owner should first consider all repair alternatives. And this is all from the preservation brief, just to specify. HPO staff recommends maintaining the existing columns since over 50% of each column appear to be in repairable condition, as recommended by National Park Service Preservation Brief. If numerous plinths and bases are deteriorated, bases can be replaced with rot-resistant materials to match size and style. Selecting such material will help with future maintenance. Applicant also may want to consider adding some relief or cutouts to the base to allow the bases to breathe and water to drain from that concrete porch. Staff recommends continuing application COA 2501289, 1085 Bryden Road, to allow the applicant time to provide the additional information on the proposed column replacements and drawings and plans for the railings that were requested by the commissioners. Basis for staff rec is City Code 311611, standards for alteration 2, 5, and 6.
Would the applicant like to give any commentary?
No, I mean, as you can see, at some point prior to our ownership of the home, roughly 20 to 30 years ago, the bases were rotted out and they were repaired.
Periodically.
Yes. They have failed. The ones that have not completely failed are in the process of failing. From previous COAs, we just put a significant amount of money into repairing box gutters and a new roof. I am very concerned about these columns continuing to hold that front porch. So we're looking to replace these as quickly as possible. So that's the long and short of it.
Well, and you read some of our feedback from the business meeting that any.
I didn't receive any of the stuff that you were just discussing.
It's in the application through the Citizen Access Portal. A document, normally a letter is sent from the business meeting feedback that is a part of your attachment documents for, and we apologize as well, but yeah, that's typically our standard for that.
To the comments of retaining, I'm assuming I was requesting to replace, one of the columns is split top to bottom. To the question of how are they going to cut them, the manufacturer sells them in halves and 3/4. So that's one of the reasons why this particular one was selected by the company that I've talked to. So they don't have to be cut to 3/4 or half. They'll be provided that way. As of the bottoms, I mean, I'm not a general contractor. I'm not a carpenter. I don't know how you fix that. There's roughly a foot of every column is gone. It's cut into the fluting side. How do I have wood that's going to be structurally added to that? I mean, I have no clue how that would even work.
And I don't know if we can solve it, but we can give ideas. And I'm not an architect, but in the business meeting, I did hear some architects say that there might be a way to do that, right? And you might even cut it off to the point that it's rotted. So that's where the horizontal, the railing is kind of meets it at that point. And there were all these ideas and that's why I think reading the meeting notes might be helpful. Because it seems like these are pretty prominent features of the house. And I think that was the thought. Are they totally far gone? Can they be saved? Can they be saved in an artistic way, part of it? Those are the kind of questions being raised.
Did you explore remediation at all?
No, I assume these aren't savable. I mean, just looking at them, they're coming apart.
You might be observing things that aren't apparent in the photos, like that doesn't look great. I'll give you that. But at the same time, a lot of that, it's hard for me to tell how much of that is wood versus paint. And then also some of these, like this one, for instance, looks to be in pretty decent shape. Looks like if that were sanded down and repainted, that could be salvaged.
It has the same base though that's collapsing.
So
all the others.
So if the base is the primary concern, I think that's why we were starting to wonder as a commission, is there an alternative approach where we could maintain these columns but focus on the base? Granted.
And you're right, the bases that are there are not the original bases to the columns, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking, so back to, if we want to go back to the historic nature of the home, that's gone.
Well, yeah, we were less concerned about replacing the base with something. We were concerned about replacing
the entirety of
the column.
Right.
So I think that the point is, I think some exploration will need to be done on your part to see what your options are for replacement. We are not averse to seeing options where you're changing the base. Maybe the column gets cut up to a certain amount where it's actually rotted and introducing a piece. We don't know that, but you might have to do some more investigation rather than just replacing it, right? Or convince us why it has to be replaced. Like somebody's looked at it, it's completely rotted. We can, in the purview we are given, we can't just allow for a full replacement unless there is a really, really good reason, and we can be sure that you cannot repair it. And based on this, it might seem that you could repair it.
Right, like for this picture in particular, a couple things come to my mind. Like the column itself, granted the base, like I think everybody understands. Yeah, these bases are, there is no base, right? So we can start there. We agree with you there. But there's a couple things with that is like, what is the actual condition of that, the column that remains? Because our charge is to try to maintain as much of the historic fabric as we can, right? And we're reasonable. If we're finding out that it's not worthwhile saving, then we'll work with you. But at least myself, I'm not convinced at this point that there can't be some of that fabric saved. Then also, if we look at the railing, I don't think that there's a proposal yet on.
No, the
about-
railings that are in place or what's remains of railings that are in place, because many are gone, are not original. They were they were put in again at the time that those bases were put in. The previous owner, 2 owners ago, had a carpenter come out and basically get the place ready to sell.
So are you proposing that it's just columns with no railing?
For now, because we want to figure out options for the railings at some point. I mean, right now I'm concerned about, I've been more focused and concerned about
Understood.
getting the structural support to the porch than the aesthetics of a railing.
So we in general, we'd like to see a full package. We understand like if
Yeah.
this is in danger of collapsing, then we might make some arrangement to try to, I'm not seeing anything that's, to me, looks like imminent danger at the moment of this thing collapsing. Now, I'm not a structural engineer, but I think that what we're saying is probably need to have someone review it and say, and that's going to convince us that these things need to be replaced.
Or-
The other piece of this too, and I'll just say one
Sure,
last
go
thing,
ahead.
I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah.
If you are planning on doing a railing, the way that the railing works with the columns and the style and the attachment details and how it looks as an overall, not just piecemeal
So I was trying to let
strategies.
those details get in the way to just getting a column in, and then railings can be applied to the
Well,
column post.
then they
We're,
become
we're trying to
afterthoughts
look
and
at the
all.
whole package for the facade. And I think if you also do some work, and maybe our staff member can help you do some work and look at other historic buildings. Many of them start the columns higher and the base is more pronounced, and how the base works with the railing and the associated vertical elements presents a complete picture. So I feel if we basically let you replace them now, we want you to remediate, we want you to explore remediation. But the presenting design coming back to us needs to think about the whole thing. And again, there are lots of houses out there that have variations on the theme of, I have fixed columns because I have raised the base substantially to make it work.
So, and just to clarify that, I think from the business meeting, there was a thought suggested, which, you could think about,
Take
but
it or leave it, right.
is to basically have a new column base
Right.
that goes up past the
Right.
railing,
That's
and
what
then
I'm
the
thinking.
railing is accepted into that column base. And then your column that's there is basically from that new base up to the,
So I apologize. I'm probably more of a visual person, so I'm having a hard time picturing what you're describing. But
yeah. You
I can walk up and kind of give you an idea.
That was, yeah.
It's just like this section, if that were replaced
with
with some type of base, a new base, and then if you're.
Like a pedestal.
come back to that's not historic to what was there.
Well, but then
That
if-
you're saying let's,
That it is period, and it does work with the architect.
well, and we,
as wood just replacing it is.
no, but you, in that case, it's,
Perhaps.
well, I think that's what we were saying earlier, that we would do that when we know that the intent is to save at least most of it, the top part, and that knowing that the bottom might be rotted more than what we're just seeing in the little base. So those were the variations we were working on. Again, we're not your architects, we're not your structural engineers, but those were the ideas we were willing to work with in the greater good of preserving what does exist and can be preserved. So I think this just needs more exploration.
Yeah.
And I think if to give you more time, there are structural ways to temporarily shore
Right,
up
good point.
things, and your contractor can,
Good.
yeah. So I think,
Lots of them. Again, I'm chasing one after the other because more bases are collapsing. So
right, but you can, yeah, you can just shore up your physical house.
that were, with the work that was just done, seams are now starting to come apart because more of the bases are failing. So I'm just,
I think-
as a homeowner, I'm worried about
We hear you.
Understood.
my investment and
I would, so two things. Our primary charge is to maintain as much of the historic fabric as possible. So that's why we're asking you to exhaust and show us that you've explored these options. Okay, that's first thing. And second thing, if you think it's really in that bad a shape, then you probably need a professional to come look at it and assess it. And that will help us, once again, if you have that documentation, that's going to help us say, okay, you've exhausted your options, you've studied this, we understand this is an imminent threat of collapse and these columns are not viable.
Sure. And would that be from the contractor I've been working for and proposed to do the work, or would that be from a separate? I know like when we talked about the roof the last time, I had to get someone who wasn't the contractor to tell you that there's slate.
Same here.
Passed.
Yeah,
You need a structural engineer
Engineer would be the right person, yes.
to tell us.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, architects, structural engineers, designers who understand this. And I think the intent, we understand that it's your property, got to save it, but it's a historic property. So the intent has to come from, my first option is to save the fabric. And I did go that route first. But in that process, I was told that it cannot be salvaged. And hence now these are I think that's the intent we're looking for. And we want to exhaust that first. And if it doesn't, if that's just not an option and you prove it and we agree, then we can talk about other options.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we continuing?
Before we do go to a motion on that, commissioners, just as a quick note as well with the railing, with the height of the porch, just to check with building and zoning about the height, because after a certain height, and I can't remember exactly, it does need a railing. So
30 inches.
30 inches. Thank you, Commissioner Leisure. I couldn't remember if it was 32 or 36. So 30 inches, if it's above 30 inches to grade, it would need a railing. So to look into that, because that will also, for the review and the design of everything, that will have to be included for the commission to review that if it needs to be on the porch
That work
for safety.
at the same time as column placement.
It'll have to be depending on the design, right? Because it can't, you have to attach it to something.
Because the
So
challenge I have is like, I wouldn't want it, presuming I was putting in new ones, for example. I don't want to notch them out and put these old banisters in, which are horrible, ugly, and not historic. So I was kind of deferring off of like, I need to now research what would look appropriate for the house, what would, how would it attach to the railing? So it's like, in my mind, it was a separate thing than the columns, but I understand your point of the overall end aesthetic. What's it going to look like?
Yeah.
I get it. And that's,
That would be the cleanest thing for us to review. It's like, here's a complete picture of the railing design, the columns, et cetera, and a drawing that shows all that.
and just out of curiosity, not asking the decision, but like my wife and I talked about leveraging something similar to the hand railing that's there as between columns, cast iron, what have you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that would be appropriate with the historic nature of this.
Show us pictures of other environment, other things
Yeah,
you've
I
seen
was trying to.
in the environment where you see it an option.
Yeah.
It's not standard for that period.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
And just so you know, architectural historian,
Can
landscape.
I hire you?
architect. No, I'm going to only point to,
Single kid from a single mom. This is the second home I've owned in my life.
I just want you to know that this is,
A little over my head on some of these
yeah,
topics.
this is an amazing panel of experts who's
Yeah.
trying to give you their best
I appreciate it.
advice. So
Thank you.
Make a motion for COA 2501-289 to continue.
second,
Motion and second, any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Application continued.
Thank you. Thank you, commissioners.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. And
you.
we'll send the feedback after. And that will if this is the first application process for you, that will be a letter that will be attached into your materials for your application.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. I do, it's in your attachments. Yeah, yeah. I do apologize, but just for clarity on that, but thank you.
And if you do have questions, then just reach out to Morgan.
Yes.
You know.
Mhm, mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is application COA 2501303, 1063 Bryden Road. The applicant like to come forward, please.
I did receive an email from the applicant saying that they would not be able to attend the meeting, that they are out of town. And this was, I believe, yesterday that they informed us.
Okay.
So we can continue it for now, unless we would like to review and give comments, but we'd probably just recommend continuing until they're able to be in attendance.
Was it covered in the business meeting?
Items that they would need Commissioner Hunt?
Yeah.
Yes, there was feedback provided of that, so.
Yeah.
All right, we'd like to motion to continue for this application.
Yeah. So
Move to continue.
Second.
Thank you.
motion and second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Application continued.
Okay, and just for applicant to refer to the feedback from the meeting. Okay. Thank you, commissioners. All right.
All right, next up is application COA 250-1309, 699 Oakwood Avenue. The applicant like to come forward? Anyone here from? So,
I didn't receive any emails from this applicant, so if we want to circle back.
do we want to skip this one? Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
come back to that one. Moving along to application COA 250-1319, 512 Meyer Place. Would the applicant like to come forward? All right, so state your name and affiliation with the property.
Julia Francis, MA Design Project Coordinator.
All right, and raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, thank you.
Would be helpful if I brought up the right application material, so apologize about that. All right, so this is to install two 6-foot tall, 20 feet by 9 feet 3 inches trash enclosures with 2 set of gates. Enclosure for dumpster screening to be vertical board on board style wood screening. Dumpster enclosure includes 4 galvanized steel bollards. Landscape bed to be expanded along west property line. Get to that. Remove 120 feet of existing metal fence and install 24-inch 2-rail fence to match Metro Park in this area. Install 4 15-inch raised planting beds with natural dry stack limestone perimeter to match existing building standard. Planting beds to have upright maple and dwarf fountain grasses. Located in these areas. Is that still included on this application? Thank you. I was going to say, I did not realize that, so I do apologize about that. The landscaping has been removed. Thank you, applicants. And existing parking blocks to be removed and new large stone slabs to be installed between existing trees. Also removed. Thank you very much.
So their landscaper can be more involved.
All right, I appreciate that. I do apologize. So staff analysis, previously approved site work for this property has included the following. BD 2110-006, removal existing landscape materials and stone wall, installation of poured concrete slab and steps for new patio, new stacked stone in front of concrete slab to match existing, and new patio railings to match existing, and bike racks. 2304-002, new poured concrete patio with faced existing stone finish, new poured concrete accessible ramp with railings to match existing, concrete stairs. 240415, new wheelchair lift within stair area, new poured concrete. 240420, restripe parking lot, add loading zone, installed raised planter bed to match adjacent. And 240464 is alter existing retaining wall, raised sidewalk landscaping, and stair to widen stair, just for background context for the site. December business meeting, the commissioners asked applicant to clarify planting, what is going to be proposed and where is it going to be planted. They asked applicant to, that since the shadow box is not supported for fencing style, are they willing to use vertical board on board unless they have a reasoning for selecting the shadow box style for the dumpster enclosure? A commissioner stated that there's currently a lot of existing plantings located in the north portion of the parking lot where the second dumpster is proposed and may not be visible. The commission requested more photos of the areas that proposed work is take place. The applicant has revised the proposed dumpster screening to be vertical board on board style wood screening in lieu of the shadow box style. Proposed entryway fencing appears consistent with the fencing at this site, at this location, site Audubon. Staff recommends approval of application COA 250-1319, 512 Meyer Place, with any all clarifications to be submitted to HBO staff for review and approval prior to issuance of a certificate. Standard basis of recommendation is City Code 311613, standards for site improvements A, B, and D, Columbus Register of Historic Properties, architectural guidelines, fences, page 76, and dumpsters, page 78. And that is all for the staff reports. Thank you.
Would you like add anything further?
Just, I'm
we're only looking at the trash enclosure and fence.
Yes, I believe so. If the
Nothing
applicant to
else.
clarify.
Okay.
Straightforward.
And just, is there a image of the fence somewhere in the application, the existing? Okay, okay, gotcha. And just to clarify where that is on the plan, is that on the left-hand side here?
It's on the left and right side of that drive entering the property.
Okay, got it. Okay. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on in this part. So you're trying to kind of clean this up and,
Yes.
okay, gotcha. So, yeah, I don't see any issues with this. I think you're trying to organize the site a little better, which
Continued development.
yes, yeah, I appreciate that very much. So, yes.
So we have the application as a whole thing. Do we split it? How do we, because we aren't looking at most of them.
Yes, so the applicant can amend the application to remove the landscaping at this time, and we can approve the dumpster enclosure and the rail fence.
What is the plan for the landscape to come back, plan to come back?
I've asked the property owner that question. They are, they're working on getting communication with their landscaper. We weren't able to get enough time to bring.
Yeah,
it to
That's
you.
fine. Is it, are you thinking in the next few months or are you
I
thinking?
think it's going to be in the next few months because I think they want to execute all of that by the spring.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just need a site plan that shows exactly where those are and the species and the size and all that kind of stuff. So,
Great. Make a motion for COA 25-01319, specifically only for the trash enclosure and for the fencing.
And your motion is to accept?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Those two pieces. Thank you.
Second.
all right, having a motion and a second, any further discussion?
Do we need to do anything contingent on the landscape plan?
I don't think, I don't.
I mean, there could be two options. We could approve to amend the application to just have the enclosure and fencing detailings, or there could be the split of the landscaping plan to continue to come to a later date. I mean, that is an option as well, but it sounds like the applicant will be back in a couple months, so.
My issue is the following. I have a very painful experience on another commission where somebody said, oh yeah, we'll do this, this and this. And guess what? They didn't.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
It was his intent to come back through the landscaper directly,
Uh-huh.
which is why we had removed it from this package.
Right.
So there was no guarantee that that would come back under the package that we developed.
Right.
And the way I see it is the trash enclosure and fence doesn't
do
impact
we would do
anything
anyway.
else. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
doesn't impact.
I can get there.
landscape.
Yeah.
So I would amend the motion to remove everything else except for the trash enclosure and the fence.
Yeah. Good with that. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, no additional discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? So application approved with those conditions. So, thanks.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, up next, COA 2501328, 1469 to 1471 Bryden Road. And would you state your name and affiliation with the property, please?
Eric Packer, owner.
Julie Bullock, architect.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Just proposed work description is for exterior building alterations on the property. So there will be the south elevation and north primary elevation are the two main elevations for work at this time, is to construct wood rear porches on the first and second story with exterior stair. Let me pull up those drawings for reference. Modify 2 existing basement windows into window wells for egress. Window wells to be constructed of 8-inch poured concrete with limestone cap. Replace glass block windows with selection from approved window list, Marvin Ultimate. Maintain existing half-light and 2 6-panel doors on the south elevation. Install new half-light wood door on 1471 side of the second story opening to match existing. New door to be a Marvin True style. New transom windows to be installed in original opening above first floor doors. Windows to be Marvin Ultimate as well. North primary elevation includes replace non-historic front doors, replace with new wood 3/4 light doors. New door to be Marvin True style. Install new metal railings on the front stairs and service stairs. Just noted here. In the site plan, replace third floor windows with new casements for egress. Casement windows to be multi-light Marvin Ultimate. An application for variances was recommended at May 2025 HRC hearing, COA 25-00301. The property includes a 1920s brick American four-square duplex situated on a corner lot of Bryden Road and Miller Avenue. The building previously had 2 two-story rear porches that are reflected on the Sanborn maps. Non-historic porches that retained the same footprint were removed by the prior owner due to being in disrepair. The property has existing code violations regarding basement windows and coal chute, door transoms, porch ceiling disrepair, handrails in the rear porches. The current owner purchased the property in April 2025. Conceptual application for installation of rear porches and stair was reviewed in October 2025. Would the commission like me to read any of those meeting minutes at this time?
No.
At the December business meeting, the commissioners asked if there's an option to do 4/1 for proposed dormer egress windows in order to keep with the existing style and character of the building. The commission are more in favor of the meeting rail detail style for the casements in the dormer that make the windows appear to be double hung windows, but they do have concern of what is being proposed since it does change the look of the front facade. Staff recommends to approve application COA 25-013-103, 1328. Apologize about that, 1340 Bryden Road, with the following conditions: that the north elevation railing for porch and service stairs, product information and style to be submitted to HPO staff for final review and approval. For the casement egress windows on the north elevation to be designed as a 4/1 style to replicate the same look of the current double hung windows, or 6/1 to replicate the second floor window configuration. Yes. Color name, chip details that will be used on the new wood porches to be submitted to HPO staff for final review and approval on the south elevation. And the color selected for the windows and doors, since the proposed color is called out as stone white, but the current windows have been painted a dark brown color, just so for clarification on what window color that would be. And basis for staff rec is 311611. Standards for alteration, number 2612, and Columbus Register of Historic Properties Architectural Guidelines, Porches and Stoops, pages 18 through 19.
All right, would applicant like to make any further comments?
I had a couple questions and clarification. For the front dormer windows, are you saying we should do a false check rail on that to give that separation? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, I believe that was the comment.
If this proposal is just way too busy compared to what's original, the
Sure.
original has like the 6 on top and a single pane at the bottom.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I just wanted to understand if you felt like you needed the check rail in the middle.
I believe that was our previous comment.
And I also submitted a casement option and a double hung option. I don't know if you noticed that on the elevations. I feel like, I'm just curious if you have a preference on that. Because we are,
You don't need the casement for egress purposes.
well, okay, the double hung would not be a real double hung. It would, have the false
The
check
look.
rail, look like a double. hung.
Understood, okay.
Which I guess if we're gonna do this, the 6/0, it's gonna look like a double hung anyway. So I think I've answered my own question.
I think you're right.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, so we're fine with that. We like the idea of the white colored windows. I did get on and look at some previous other photos, and at one point they were white. That's why I picked that color. My client is flexible on that, so if you prefer the darker color, we can do that, but we were thinking the white.
Yeah, I think some of the architects that had a thought, which is a good one, that the white, I guess there's so many kinds of white, but a lot of the bright white looks very suburban and
Yeah,
contemporary.
this is it's the Marvin white. It's not a white, it's kind of a,
I'll lean on you guys, like what the white is, but that was the feedback. So the darker seem more appropriate, but
we're fine with either, but
I think
I would have leaned in the white direction, but I can go either way. Just, I agree with not white. So what's a Marvin white?
it's more like I'm going to call it a taupe white for lack of a better. I mean, it's still white, for sure it's white, but it's a softer white. It's not that bright white. And I can submit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That'd be great.
Okay. All right. And then the other comment, I did the house next door, the back porches, that's how he got my name. So what I did is I took, it has not been built yet. Should talk to them about building it for them.
Yeah.
Because they really need somebody. So that's what I did is I designed style, because the houses are pretty much twins.
Right.
Yeah.
So it seemed to me they probably had the same style,
Like
railings. So that's why I copied that detail for what it's worth.
They're actually quadruplets. There's 4 houses that are just.
Oh, are there?
It's very interesting.
Do you know if they all have white or dark windows?
I don't remember.
Send a picture in for the other houses when you
Yeah.
A lot of
send
them
your
don't
painting.
have, they don't have, no, I don't think any of them, one of them has a black metal stair, but the other 2 don't have stairs at all. But yeah, you can send pictures.
We can pull up Google Street View as well if the commission would like
Okay,
the
that's
applicant. Or not the applicant, myself, sorry.
As you're doing that, was there also some code violation stuff here?
The code violations were with the previous owner.
Mhm.
A lot of it was repair, and it was like, put plywood on the windows till you can repair the windows was one comment. The gutters and downspouts, the roof, which I think you already.
Handrails,
Yeah, the
which
houses
were
are
just
small.
not there.
Yeah.
We did the gutters and stuff already.
Yeah, it was just like hanging downspouts and gutters, and then the glass block windows.
And the doors.
And the doors, the front door is really oddly replaced, so we're redoing those. And then they put glass block windows in and we're not allowed.
Even
Clearly.
The neighbor has the same glass block window.
Oh, does he?
Are you changing that? Is what?
Yeah, we're gonna make those
Thank you, yeah.
The well.
little awning or fixed glass windows, depending on the location. Yeah, all of the windows will be replaced there.
I don't want to go off script, but there is one thing that there was an old coal chute there like 15 years ago, and we're being asked to try to find a replica of that, and I don't know if there's any flexibility in just not doing that because none of the other houses have them, and neither side of the house has the coal chute. I don't know what the.
Is this a part of the application at this time? The basement window replacements
I
on
just said
this
what
side?
I said. That's all I just said, replace all basement windows, replace glass block windows with selection from approved window list.
Okay.
So
So
I
on
was-
all elevations, correct, Julie? Okay, just for
Was
clarification.
replacing the coal chute door with a window.
So there is a coal chute door right now?
No.
No, it's just glass block. It
And they
used to be
put-
10 years ago there.
The previous owner put glass block in it. We don't have any coal chute
And
cover.
someone at some point was saying that should be a replica of a coal chute?
That was his
Well, they're
impression.
saying it's a code violation. It needs to be reverted back, I guess. It's one of the code violations.
Oh.
But I think if
Yeah.
Morgan says it's okay.
That seems like a code violation that's now years
I mean,
old.
if it's years ago, then
10 years ago, I think.
I think it's just a matter of not making it look glass blocky.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I think it looked fine.
Yeah, and I would say since it's not on the elevations of what is being submitted for that window specifically, that might need to come back at a future date. But if it's going back as a coal chute or possibly a window, that could potentially be staff approved, but we kind of have to see what will be put into that location. I don't believe there's a window schedule for that specific sizing or.
You know what? I thought it was all the same size, so I will get.
Do we need to look at the code violation sheet to make sure it doesn't say that and we don't have to go back to them and say, we're not supporting this?
For which part? I'm
For
sorry.
the
I
full
went
shoot
through the
replacement.
For the cold shoot, yeah, we could go back to look
Okay.
at that. I'm not familiar fully with all the code violations because of course it was a different staff member
Right.
I did,
with this property, but
I did go through the list and I thought I addressed them all. I did miss the cold shoot thing.
so just since it's not part of the application right now, you know, that can be submitted separately.
Okay.
That can be
I
submitted
just don't want to
separately.
get tripped up later on.
That's what
Yeah.
I was worried about.
Yeah.
I'll have all the ears, the important ears here in front of me.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing a few, but
So we can just have. give us that.
But yeah, just to focus on what is being presented at this time.
control those doors, left doors.
And I'm not sure, in looking through the documents at this moment, I don't believe that any of the basement windows have been included for the other elevations. It looks like it's just for the egress window.
I thought she did, but I will.
Can you go back to the full elevation?
Yes, of course.
Second one, yeah. See the panels on the
I'll
bottom?
have her come out and measure
top.
those.
Okay. And again, since it would be the window replacement within the opening, that's typically a staff approved item. So
So we can just get maybe approval to replace glass block with windows contingent upon staff review or something.
we will, I guess, touch base on that when we get to that
Yeah.
point, where however the commission would like to begin this discussion of the items with the applicant. Then we can talk about the basement windows.
Can we see them side by side, though, as built?
For the neighbor's property, Commissioner Zena, or the,
Yeah, just existing.
Yeah.
yeah, here's the as-built. Let me zoom out a little bit more, if that's
One
helpful.
on the right and the bottom is the neighbors and
Oops.
the one next to it is.
Right.
Too zoomed in. I apologize.
The top and the bottom, right?
Top and bottom are as-built new.
I'm struggling with the panel doors.
I'm sorry.
Did you pick those panel doors for a reason?
The 6 panel doors. in
Six
the
panel
back.
doors.
the back.
Yeah.
That's the as-built, right?
We were
And it
leaving
showed
the
on the
existing
bottom
six
side, but-
panel. It wasn't in the violation order. That's the reason.
But they're not historic, obviously.
So are you willing to replace the back
Well,
doors too?
When Jackie came out, she said the lower ones were fine. We just had to, we had. to
Okay, if
mimic
Jackie
the
said they were
upper one.
fine. then
Yeah,
then I'm
I
fine.
was on that site visit as well, and Jacqueline
Right.
said that since they were existing and not part of the code violation, they would
Okay.
be fine. But again, to replace the transom openings with the transom, you know, from the approved windows list and
See.
what was going into the second story door opening that doesn't have a door right now currently. So I'll go back to the elevations.
So what was the staff recommendation?
So what can we take action on here? I thought your staff notes were really helpful, like
I'm glad. Thank you, Commissioner Ford. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, in terms of taking action, I think, you know, the recommendations that, at least all your recommendations resonated with me.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
What are we
that's,
really gonna hold back on? It's
Um,
accepted everything.
They did accept everything, didn't they? I think
Yeah.
the only thing that's outstanding was there was some questions about some of the basement windows.
Exactly, which I think can be stuff.
Staff approved.
yeah,
So
so
there is no remaining.
I don't think so.
I guess just for clarification before we continue, if we can just kind of go through each item for staff clarity. For the dormers, the commission would be fine with either a 4/1 configuration or 6/1 configuration.
6/0 or whatever. right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah, so
the applicant has agreed.
Yes, and then so it would be the, let me go to
Go to the elevation. So, as built.
sorry, Commissioner.
Yeah.
I want to go there. So yeah, it's either,
That's 4/.
so the original is 4/1.
So 4/. 4/.
Yeah,
I think the scale works a little better with the 4/.
4.
I agree. Yeah.
And for it to have the simulated divided light, and the
Yeah.
commission would be fine with those converting into casement windows.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for that. Just to clarify for our end, since we're on the north elevation, the doors converting to 3/4 light, instead of course, what's there, just double checking. The service rails for that elevation, again, there's note of them in the site plan, but we don't have the manufacturer information or the style, or the commission fine with staff reviewing those.
Sorry, what was that for?
The service stairs and the porch stairs, Julie, you have them noted in the site plan, but we don't have the manufacturer information, like the style on those. It says new metal railing, see detail, but yeah, just the handrail portion. I mean, of course, the standard style that we normally see, but just for the commission to be fine
Mhm.
with
I
us reviewing
submitted a
them.
cut sheet on that.
I looked just to double check because I know it said to see detail, but I couldn't locate it. So
I will make sure.
yeah, I was trying to see if there was something I might have been missing.
Do you recall what that railing type was? It was just
I
a,
mean, it's the standard one from Fortin. that
Okay.
we use on every project.
it's like a square post with a,
It's just, yeah, it just comes down and curves around.
okay,
Because we just need the handrail, not the,
right.
yeah.
And it has no infill panel.
No,
It's just a
no,
handrail.
it's just-
Okay. Yeah, I'm generally fine with that.
Right, and then we'll go back to the elevation. We'll go to south elevation for this next portion. You know, half light on the second story infill. The porch design overall. Okay, and then the new egress casement windows for the basement.
And the entire railing system is wood, right?
It's all wood.
Okay.
And I pretty much matched what you approved last time.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's a little section through it.
And that it's
Yeah.
painted wood, right? Is that the, okay,
Then we painted the same.
okay.
Okay, yeah, and there's a section of the egress. So for the basement windows, I would say since they aren't a part of this application at this time, on the other elevations with the glass block, as commissioners stated, you know, that can be a staff approved item. So that would just be, that could be a separate application with the window schedule of those windows that we can approve administratively typically. Since glass block is there, not original, of course, to this opening, so we can approve with those replacements.
And same thing with a shoot, not shoot thing, just work with the staff.
Yeah.
Just
Or
remembering.
it's always-
I guess what we're a little confused about, I guess, I don't know why I said I guess again, but we're confused about it, the color scheme. So from what it originally was painted as white, it appears to have been painted that dark brown color. I'm not sure if it was painted that color prior to you purchasing, or if that was something.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
for
you
the
painted-
windows that are currently on the property.
He inherited that.
Okay, that is fine. We just wanted to double check on
That's going to be in the
that.
general
Yes.
conversation. That's-
Yeah, so the only thing we did say, Morgan, is that the applicant will give you a paint sample. We would not
Mhm.
want to see it like bright white.
Yes.
If it's a duller white or.
Yeah. So they're fine
We're
with
gonna-
white as long as. it's
The
a
chip's gonna
super
come out.
white.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, or even a taupe.
Yeah. And then with that being said, these new windows that are going in, will there be an application submitted for paint color
Yeah.
for the other windows and things like that? So that was kind of just for our clarity on that information.
Would that have to come before the commission or is that staff?
He will do that.
Yeah, painting typically is a staff approved item, so.
I think we're gonna be able to approve everything, right? At least
Yeah.
move it to staff.
Yep.
Or-
Just clarity on our end of what
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going forward, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Captured all that.
You never repeat it.
Yeah, can we just say
Yeah,
so
yeah.
moved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been motions made in past from other commissions saying per staff's recommendations and things like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't
there we
have to
go.
be listed by
Per-
motion, so.
All right.
Make a motion to approve for staff's recommendations.
And agreement with applicant because.
Yeah.
applicants
Yes, we
with
agree.
everything.
Yeah. Do you have a second?
Second, sorry.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Application approved. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Oh, that's right. Christmas is next
Yes.
week. Oh my gosh. Forgot about that. Jeez.
All right, moving on to conceptual applications. We have two tonight. First, COA 2501322, 120 Central Avenue. Would you like to come forward?
Okay.
We applaud you both for hanging in.
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
for your
you.
patience. Yeah.
We do have a lot tonight, so.
Yes.
All right. State your name and affiliation with the property.
Jonathan McKay with Wilder Cooper Company, Vice President of Development.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. For proposed work description, this is to install a 6-foot black aluminum picket fence around the property line. This staff analysis, we're going to provide some background on the property because there is actually a split of what is within our purview and what is not within our purview on this lot.
Okay.
Just after further research and clarity on our end. So the property which holds the West High School or Starling Junior High School Middle School was built in 1908 by the first City of Columbus Public School architect, David Riebel. The property, which is half of the lot within the block between State Street and West Town Street, and we do have kind of a past document kind of showing that split, where the school is located, was nominated as individually listed property in January 2022. Property returned in 2023 to receive approval for exterior alterations, demolition of the 1955 single-story addition, and to convert existing structure into affordable housing units. The south portion of the block, which is here, it is outside of the HRC purview and review. Currently holds the newly constructed affordable housing development that we can see currently on the property. HPO staff initially reached out to applicant to ask if the fencing is proposed for the entire property perimeter. And if that were the case, are they proposing gates to be installed for the entry areas for the parking lot and walkways? Applicant informed staff that they are not proposing gates at this time, just the 6-foot fencing. At the December business.
6-foot fencing around the
Entire property,
the first property, or both?
Entire block.
Thank you.
Yes. And of course, the applicant can speak further on that one, but I'll get through the report and then we can have that discussion. December business meeting feedback, the commissioners stated that a 3-foot fence along Long Street could look better, but they have approved 6 foot in the past. Commissioners do have concern of installing 6-foot fence along property lines where the front doors are facing. They asked applicant to provide more information on where the front doors are facing. Are they facing the streets surrounding the property? They asked applicant to provide a Photoshop street image to show the proposed fence style and size and context of what is currently there for the commission to have perspective of the proposed idea. Since this lot is divided with the historic school being within our purview and the property to the south not being within our purview. So again, pretty much this location is within our purview. This south portion is outside of our purview at the time. HBO staff recommends installing a 3 to 4 foot fence that is similar in style around that portion of the West High School. And I apologize, I got my notes all screwed up. The historic school per HRC guidelines, page 76, for fencing, if applicant would like to pursue the 6-foot aluminum fencing around the new development portion. Additionally, the current dumpster enclosure and landscaping around the parking lot of West High School that is within the property area under HRC jurisdiction and review did not receive a prior COA. Applicant will need to submit a COA application for those items, as well as look into the current generator, mechanicals, to see if those items are within the property line, which would have to come for review and approval from the commission. Commissioners should offer design feedback, because this is conceptual, that can be utilized by the applicant to further refine the proposal for future HRC meeting. No action is required at the time. And our basis of staff rec is 311613, standards for site improvements, A, B, and Columbus Register of Historic Properties guidelines, fences, page 76. Thank you.
Right, would you like to make any further comments?
Sure. Appreciate everybody's time and thoughtfulness to the application. Really wanted to sort of dialogue with everybody here to get some feedback. We did look at the comments that were proposed from the business meeting. So a couple things that we're thinking about that I really want to bring up to the commission's attention is first, the context here. We did not initially put the fence around the property, even though there was a chain link fence that was taken down as part of the development of the property, because of the fact that we just didn't think it would be appropriate. But now that the development has been completed, we have found that there have been some bad actors coming onto the property. So the main point of this is really to control the flow of traffic and access to the site. With that being said, and talking with the management team and the architect on this one, what we are thinking about is going all the way around the property. The front of the school building there on South Central Avenue, we're thinking that that will have a gate, and that will be that's really the hallmark, the front part of the building and development. And then the access, ingress, egress on Braille, and then on State Street, there would be 2 openings there. everywhere else, the fence would be enclosed. And I know you mentioned the 3 feet as part of the fence. We're really trying to deter people from hopping the fence. So if it's at all possible, we'd like to find a middle ground there in terms of the height of the fence. In addition to that, we're really trying to make sure that we keep the integrity of the school because that's the hallmark of the historic building. We have had some people attempt to break in and break into it. So we're currently increasing the security presence. So right now, if you go back to the site plan real quick, the management building is in the walk-up building that has the enclosed breezeway on the first floor, and it's on the corner there off of Brell. So there will be additional security cameras added so that management office, the manager will be able to see along State Street and then also off of Central Avenue as well. But these are some of the things we've talked about internally, and really we want to make sure it's conceptual just to have a dialogue with you all about what we're thinking about here and take your feedback.
So you said with the fence,
Mhm.
the openings aren't gated, so folks can still walk in, right?
Yes, that is correct, where there would not be a gate on the Brell Avenue or the State Street. People would still be able to walk in through there. That's right.
And I think that was a discussion we were having the business meeting. Then if it's just a visual cue, then maybe the 3 or 4 feet will still do the same thing. If you're going to have openings anyway, then whether you're 6 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10, people can still walk in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was something we were trying to figure out. Like, so is it a perception thing? And then if it's even a shorter fence, just the perception will still work with a 4-foot fence?
And I think in the business meeting, we discussed, maybe 6 feet's appropriate for the majority of the site, but on certain key elevations,
Yeah.
that was lower, right?
Yeah, that's the other option. Again, we were just discussing, it could be 6 feet on all sides, with lower in the front.
Do you have a preference on where it would be lower in the front?
Well, did you say the main facade was the
So-
south central?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main. That's the main entryway into the building.
That would be the lower, would be our.
Yeah, there's a question of what is the front and what is the side, and where it is. So to me, the Braille Avenue, that makes sense to be the taller fence for sure.
Mhm.
How far down it goes along State, I think is a question.
Okay.
If you look at like our residential approval, typically the taller fence would be behind the primary facade and then return, and then the shorter fence would come. So that transition is probably the biggest question.
Are there other shorter
Yeah.
fences on the street? Is that what we're trying to invite? Or we're just trying to showcase the building?
Showcase the building was the idea.
Yeah.
That was the thought, that if it was for what the facade and the building is. And again, the idea is that if there isn't going to be a gate anyway,
Right.
then why does 6 foot matter?
There is a gate in front of, I thought there is a gate in front of this.
No, it's going to be open.
Well, I think
Some gates.
there was a
A
gate
gate.
leading up to the front door, I think is what you had mentioned.
That's correct. We're not anticipating a gate where you actually drive in off of State and off of Browell right now.
So there are openings that you could walk in.
Like if the fence was 3 feet tall, having a gate wouldn't bother me at all. That's kind of my thought in the front. But that's, so that's a question, I guess, for you, because it's so below your sight line that you wouldn't even really notice that.
Will it be a sufficient deterrent in your experience?
And talking with the management team, I think they were thinking 5 feet. I know you mentioned about a photoshopped image about to see what that looks like in front of the building and in terms of the comments with the business meeting. So we could provide the different elevations based on that photoshopped image at 4 or 5.
That'd be
So
helpful.
I don't understand the deterrent idea if there's openings though. I don't know. I guess I don't know what we're trying to accomplish 100%. Like if you had a 6 foot fence that went all the way around and you had everything gated and then we were talking about that made sense. But it does seem like there is some
Ferocity.
ability to negotiate the height a little bit based on the purpose of the fence.
Will there be cameras at the openings?
Yeah.
That sort of feedback to the management office.
They're current-
So I guess one possible reason would be to get everybody to go in from the opening, so you would see them come in.
Oh, so you're limiting the access.
Limited
point.
the access to a point where there is a camera.
Okay.
So,
There currently are cameras on the property, but we're adding additional ones there.
That are going to highlight the openings.
Mm-hmm.
That
makes sense.
that makes some sense. Yeah. I guess similarly, then I think the 3-foot would also work because you would be channeling people to an opening. They could jump over, but it takes more effort.
Yeah, a 4+ foot fence starts to feel like, like the entire site is closed off from the public, which I don't think the front facade really wants to be that way. That's my feedback.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a different pedestrian experience.
Yeah, like that front yard of the school is as much a part of the facade of the building. So just trying to maintain that relationship between the street, the front yard, and the facade to the extent possible would be my
I think that makes
feedback.
sense,
Yeah.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, that the front part would be the lower fence,
Mhm.
just using 4 feet as an example, and then around everywhere else, 6 foot or 5 foot.
Could be.
Is that more what you're thinking about?
To me, yes, and the big question then is how do you make the transition? And you can think about that, but you have the parking lot there, so maybe that's part of that transition.
And again, to clarify, the portion to the south, that can be a 6-foot again, because we do not have say
Yeah.
over
Right.
that, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but at this time, we don't have say over that with this property. But the property where the school is where we have that purview for
Yeah.
the 3 and
Right.
4-foot fence.
And I think that's the only place we're suggesting lower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for applicant clarity of just that 6-foot can be on that south portion. It's just the,
In fact, it could be 12.
it could be 12. That would need a permit, but it could be.
Noted.
Given the fact that if it's 6 foot on sort of half the front facade, maybe it makes sense to step it in line with the facade, the front facade. So, it sort of falls symmetrically.
Yeah, like if the
Frame just the front facade.
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
throwing this out, but if the
Mhm.
lower fence came out perpendicular to the facade, turned and then came down that sidewalk between the two, that might be a way to kind of create a space
Yeah.
that the front yard is within the lower fence and then the taller fence.
Got it.
Yeah,
No, this is all.
that's a thought. I mean,
Helpful.
it's up to you to propose what you think is best, but yeah.
Are there any other questions you have of us?
I don't have any at this time. Just appreciate everybody's the thoughtful criticism, I guess you would say.
Ideas. thoughts.
Yeah,
Suggestions.
suggestion, yeah, recommendations.
But we appreciate you coming and entertaining our
And being
ideas.
open. Yeah.
And when you submit your site plan, just
Mhm.
showing gates and all the different types of fence really clearly so we can
Yeah.
get it right away. And
Will do.
And just a reminder for the applicant, as we stated just in our staff report, it does appear that the landscaping that has been installed, as well as the dumpster enclosure, never received a COA. So that would need to be submitted to HPO office for review.
Got it.
Yeah, potential staff approval, potential commission, we'll figure that out once we get that, but just as a reminder. So. Anything additional, commissioners, for this application?
Nope.
glad you saved the building. So
Yeah.
Very
that
cool.
was big. That was a big thing.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a great building.
It is, yeah.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
One more.
Oh, all right. Last application, thank you for your patience. COA 25012264831 Old Tangi Boulevard. If you want to come up, state your name and affiliation with the property, please.
I'm Max Santosh. I'm the architect.
Meta from Ravenel, owner.
And you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you.
All right. So this is conceptual application. This is for new construction. Construct new 2-story addition per submitted materials. in the rear yard of property. Property includes a two-story home and attached garage constructed in circa 1939. Sanborn maps shows the same configuration, 1951 and in 1961. Let me just pull that up real quick here. The application was originally placed on November agenda for conceptual review. The applicant asked to withdraw the application after the November business meeting for additional time to revise the materials and has been included on for the December hearing. At the November business meeting, the commission noted it will be important to understand how the addition will be seen from the street. Is anything visible? Commission noted that it will be important to show the neighboring property structures. Commission noted the placement behind the house will help to support an addition. Asked the applicant how existing vegetation and neighboring property structures for context to include any proposed landscaping changes. For example, new grading, patio, etc. Will want to confirm the accurate existing tree locations. They asked to confirm that there were no changes to the original building. Asked the applicant to bring a sample of the siding to the hearing. Noted the core 10 can look very industrial. Asked if the new roof angle will be similar to the house roof line. Commission expressed concerns about the new structure overpowering the existing due to the height being taller than the original building, and concerned the building is not reading like an addition because of the roof line being taller instead of subservient to the original building roof line. The commissioners should offer design feedback that can be utilized by the applicant to further refine the proposal for review at a future HRC meeting. No action is required. And basis of staff rec for the application would be 311612, standards for new construction, as well as Columbus Register of Historic Properties, architectural guidelines, new construction, page 90 to 91, and design considerations, pages 92 to 93.
All right. Would you like to walk us through any comments?
First of all, I'd like to note that we have the sample that the client has selected that will be the exterior. So I know Corten was mentioned. That's completely out of the question. We're now looking at this ATAS metal panel system.
Okay.
So,
What kind of metal panel did you say?
it's ATAS.
You
It's-
can bring that up
I-
if we want. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
What is ATAS?
It's manufacturing.
Oh, it's the company. Okay.
So it is, it will be that finish. As far as I understand, it's on a some sort of thinner synthetic panel. And that would be applied either through hidden fastener system, or they do have options for adhesive, but we're still exploring that option.
Is this a rain screen application?
I'm sorry?
Is this a rain screen application or is this?
Yeah, it will be a rain screen. Yeah, so I mean, a little bit of context. Meta approached me with this kind of dream idea that her and her husband have of adding on essentially what will be a private textile gallery for themselves. They have an incredible historic collection of textiles. Her husband, Burkhart, had worked in Yemen for
In the world.
yeah, just around the world. And they have a small community of friends that they get together and kind of display their works, and it's just a really kind of incredible little personal story. And she was impressed with some of the work that I had done, so we have put this together in conjunction with some of her husband's initial sketches. So yeah, these drawings at the end have been added to show, the final ridge height compared to the existing structure and kind of how it tucks in behind the existing. It's used as a studio above the garage. So, and that's the only location that it'll tie into the house.
What's the era of the original house?
Sorry?
The
It
era.
was built in 39,
Okay.
and it's kind of like a European design, so there's nothing symmetrical
Right.
around the house.
Right.
It's very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The previous owner, we had the second owner, so the previous owners, both of them were artists as well.
Sherman, right? We just looked that up today. So. Sherman.
I think that elevation is helpful because one of the questions in the business meeting was, at least from some of these back kind of images, it looked like it was going to overwhelm the original building. But this is helpful to just get that it peaks out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a perspective angle makes it look taller than the back building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In general, the scale and types of windows, and I mean, I see a lot of connections in terms of the language of the existing and the new. I mean, it's not a one-to-one, obviously, but there's a lot of, I see a lot of reference in terms of like, you know, the strip windows, even the coloration. I see that's a frame color and some highlights. The way, the scale of the massing versus the window, the breakdown of the panels versus the paneling on the existing. So I'm seeing a lot of really thoughtful references to the existing. I am curious, you know, what other commissioners have to say. You know, I think when I think about some of these historical additions, you know, we're not trying to replicate necessarily exactly what it is. And for me, sometimes it's more about like making sure that it does work with the context. And that's not necessarily a one-to-one thing. It can be an inference or taking elements that are informing the new piece.
Right.
And at least at a conceptual level, I see a lot of that attention to detail. Although it's a departure from what you have, it's complementary to my eye, you know, and to existing.
Yeah, personally, I like when there are new structures or additions to historic that either they're like exactly of that era or they're different. And you're going different route, and I appreciate it. I mean,
In fact, the guidelines say modern should read modern and
Right.
existing should read historic.
Be of its time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the composition, I do like the proportions, you know, proportions of the openings of the two buildings side by side, especially in the black, in the little clay image, the sort of white render. It really stands out there where you can see the congruence of the window openings. So in general, I really like how, you know, this has come together.
Great.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I think how you made the connection where it's a clear separation of the massing, I think is really important. So that's just one good thing. I think as a landscape architect up here, I think showing trees on your plan, I made that comment before, but just showing trees on your property and on the adjacent properties will, the trees really diminish the project visually a lot, which I think helps you. So, and I up close, that won't be the case, but in the context of the rear yards of all these adjacent properties, I think that, so I would just try to show all of that on your plan, like the actual diameter of the tree and the width of the canopy. Yeah, just getting that roughly.
I do have all of that documented.
Okay.
I triangulated all of the trees, so we know exactly where they are. I just hadn't worked them into this set yet.
Yep,
so.
yep, no worries. I think that's a.
The tree specialist
Hmm.
tell us, advise us, how far away from the root system
Right.
we have to be
Okay.
not to kill the trees.
Okay, great. Yeah.
I did not know the purpose, so it really helps me to read it as gallery in a way that I wouldn't have before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's clearly a separated function.
The story and context really,
Exactly.
yeah, it all kind of works together. so.
I'm hoping for an invitation to one of these.
But no, I think we do all appreciate you, the attention and care you're giving. And I know for at least some of us, it's music to our ears that you actually thought about the trees
Yeah.
and you went out of your way to protect them. That's great. So
I would describe it as sensitive.
it's sensitive. So thanks.
Sensitive to the placement, the original house as well as the landscape.
And just as you develop your drawing set, so just we'll need to see exactly how this ties into the site and all that stuff. So, label materials, any plants that you want to have, if you do that, all that kind of stuff we'll need for the next iteration. Of course.
The connection point, I see there's like the glass block, and then I'm assuming so we're getting acquainted with this, but it's being attached here.
No, it's behind the garage.
Okay.
If you scroll to the left on that image,
It's
back on the back side.
Yeah, so it just peaks up right behind there.
And then is there On that elevation, I don't know if we have a picture of that elevation, but is there anything of significance currently architecturally on that elevation?
It's a dead wall behind the
It's kind of
garage.
blank.
Yeah, it's an opaque wall.
Just a-
Years ago, there was a door, but that's been covered up
Yeah.
for a long time. So,
Okay.
I mean, but it would be good to have a picture if you don't have, is that? No.
I have them. I will.
Yeah, it'd be
include
good
them
to
in the
just
next-
include it so
Yep.
that
Yep.
we can make that
Absolutely.
a point.
The other item I think might be of help for us too is like, what is it? And maybe you already have this on here, I'm just not seeing it, but when you're at the road and looking back, what do you see?
Right.
Like imagining some of this is peeking out over the roof line and whatnot, but just having an understanding of what the composition of the new and old looks like would be
Sure.
helpful too.
In the winter as well as in the summer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I know that the leaves would do a lot to cover this up. So, but yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
work out.
That's a cool project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Do you
You
have
had to
any
wait all that time for that short.
Yeah.
It goes
Hey, but they
easy.
learned so much about Pella windows and
Yeah.
and what else, fencing. and-
It goes well when you've done your work.
Yeah.
appropriately,
Yeah.
So we
Well,
appreciate it.
Thank you all very much for your time.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Steam, especially the green.
The greens, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always,
More time.
I always like the,
We do have two items to circle back to, since the applicants were not
it's that
Yeah.
little teal box.
present.
Wait, 11. Was it 11?
New
No,
business.
something.
Old business.
It's a great question. Sorry,
11,
I'm going back.
11 was one of
Was it
them.
11?
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I can't remember at this time.
Yeah.
Yes, 11 was the applicant that,
So do we just continue?
yes, would be our recommendation.
Make a motion to continue COA 2501-309.
Second,
Any further discussion?
not anything.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Application continued.
Okay, we do not have any new or old business items on the agenda, so we can adjourn if we want. Unless the commission has anything they would like to.
But I was thinking, we've had so many discussions about site and coverage, permeable, impermeable, all
Yes.
that. I know we just kind of going a little bit by instinct and experience. But if in the future, the city were to actually say something like the ideal balance is in a site, no more than 40% or something, that would be a little bit helpful because then it's less subjective and, we don't have to
It's
just.
It's different by.
Or some,
district.
whatever, some guidelines, right?
Gets
That
into
I think an applicant can look
Zoning
at.
and
Yeah, zoning, there's like some.
That's generally zoning item and yeah, there's a zoning guideline per neighborhood for lot coverage.
Right, so maybe then so we should have it in front of us. I don't know. Do you know what that percentage is? No.
I know what
It
it
varies,
is in
yeah.
German Village.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I think so. Maybe the staff can help us so that next time, because I don't want to be the one telling an applicant you can't do it if they can do it.
So kind of a Board of Zoning sheet that says by district, what the target
Yeah, so maybe I just,
coverage is.
yeah, we don't
can
know.
look
So if you
into
can
that,
tell
yeah.
us, then that'd
So-
be great.
the single family are exempt from that stuff, I believe. So
Yeah, usually
like- Yeah.
the sort of commissions that I've been in front of for commercial buildings, the question we get asked is, have you talked to zoning?
right.
Yeah.
They came to
Yeah.
us. So then,
Yeah.
that way it sort of eliminates we don't look at something that is not zoning compliant.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's a good point.
So maybe that's, applicants have to be told that, or when we see something with all that paving, that we just tell them that, hey, zoning weighs in.
And we can talk
Yeah.
to them about that, or just have, again, as Commissioner Hunt said, just kind of some percentage for each neighborhood and things like that. And we might have that information. I do not have that information in my head right now, but we might have it somewhere within the office. So I can also ask the, historic preservation officer.
I
Jamie
would
Goodman.
like to make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. We can make a motion to adjourn, sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Seconded the adjournment. I apologize. No, okay, sorry. I was like, did someone say this? Thank you.
Thank you.
How's Bhakti doing?
She's doing well. She's,